What's going on, everyone? Good evening to everyone. Let me make sure our audio is correct here. Maybe a little off as far as level-wise. Let's see what we got. No, it should be right there. We're good. Let me see. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3 audio. All right. We are good. Testing 1, 2, 3 audio. All right. Alrighty then. Test, test, test. Looks like the usual smooth criminals are in there. Let me see if I can't scare everybody. Let's get this thing fired up, shall we? Well, hold on, let me make this hair a bit bigger. There we go. What's happening, everyone? Ladies and gents? Yeah, once again, I don't know if it's gremlins, the powers that be, whatever it may be, but Jean and I actually did try it again, and for some reason it will not work. Now, we've had this, you guys seen this, we were on one time, everything was great. I don't know if it's just a setting that's slightly off on this thing. I'm not sure what to think, but we will figure it out. I promise you that, because you know what? I'm going to be like all over this after. See, I didn't have a chance to do it last weekend. Been real busy. Managed to knock out a video yesterday, but we will get it straightened out. I promise you that. Just like we're going crazy, going, what is going on here? You know, he suggested maybe I have to use an older Skype, but the thing is I haven't changed anything from last time that we were on, so it shouldn't make any difference. And if there's an update, I automatically get updates, and for some reason it just doesn't want to hear it. So yeah, a lot of fun. Oh, let's see here. I said everybody is in the house today. Renee Vaughn, Renee Cruz, Minnie Reacts. John Beck, what's going on, John? Photography Light and Magic. Says, hi, Chris. Hope you are well. I'm doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. Mike Knapp's in there. Joss D. Noodles, what's going on, Noodles? Let's see. Cores, what's going on, Cores? Inhabit Mars is in there. Let's see. You said I'm early this time. Jenny Vasquez and I are near Akron, Ohio, heading to Chicago, Illinois. Sweet. Glad to have you guys aboard. Oh, let's see. Brian Norton, what's going on? Let me get this other mouse over here. Let's see. Third Eye Open, like I said. Hi, folks. She said, hope you're all well. I am doing good. Hope you're doing good as well there. Third Eye Open. Oh, let's see. X15, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Tony Gibbs, what's happening? Yeah, it is weird how that works, isn't it, Tony? You said first one in a while, you said you got a notification. Yeah, it's odd. That's why I keep telling everybody, listen, just check back at least every day, see if there's a video. And obviously, you can always count on these, unless I give you a heads up that I won't be on. But you can always count on these at 5 p.m. Eastern time as far as the Friday evening Hangout. So now, as far as the videos, that could be Tuesday, it could be Thursday, it could be Friday, it could be anywhere during the week, depending on how busy I am. So yeah, that's why I say just check back every day. It's not even a big deal. It's kind of like at your TV, it's like flip it on and see what's on, and then if it's nothing you want, and if it's not there, then clearly you don't watch it, right? But yeah. Andrew Haberman, what's going on? Good to see you in there. A. O'Neill is in there. James Cragen, what's going on? Good to see you in there as well. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Pete Ferrero, what's going on? You said, hello, Chris, from cold and rainy Buffalo, New York. Well, I'll tell you what, it's saying right now it's going to have a low for us about 45 degrees, but this morning I think it was 42 or 43. So we're supposed to pretty much get the same thing, probably over the whole week, like low to mid 40s, And highs only like maybe 60s, 65. Yeah, it's like Mother Nature's like, oh yeah, 90, 90, 95, 100, and just dropped right off. Am I the only area that's been doing that, or is it just like Mother Nature went completely bipolar? Eric Bauer, what's going on? Good to see you in there. What's going on? Good evening to you. I'm not sure where you're at there, Elaine Millard, but good to see you there. Hi, Chris and everyone. Greetings from England. Okay, that answers my question. My notification only came through when I went to your channel. See, that's weird how that works, but don't listen. You know, it was funny because Joe and I were just talking, and he popped up and he said, well, I appreciate the shout out. And he knows I don't care. I'm, glad to help him out. And we've always, mentioned each other's channel every now and then. But same thing he's been telling me is like it's going on here. People are not getting the notifications, not being in a suggested video. So that's why it's kind of up to the subs to kind of do that if they can. But this is the reason why I always say share it on, other accounts. Maybe not just YouTube, but like, other social sites and stuff like that. Because clearly if they're not going to do it here, because they consider you a conspiracy channel. But to me, I don't see anything conspiracy when it's fact, it's backed by facts and actually proof of it. So... But if they throw you in that category, they're not going to be like, well, the more apt to like, well, let's not do that. Let's not put them in suggested videos or anything like that. So, yeah. So that's why I always tell you guys to share the stuff because people need to see it. This is the best way to get it out. And you guys are basically the warriors to do it, so to speak, right? All right, let's see. Elaine Walls is in there. What's going on, Elaine? Where are we at here? Awake Soul? What's going on there, Awake Soul? Oh, thing jumped on me, but I think we'll be all right. New Chaotic Order, what's going on? Oh, I guess this thing did jump, didn't it? Oh, Brian, you're saying the same thing. He said, no, it's not just me. It's Ohio. Same, Chris. Yeah. It's like it went from like, decent weather. It was like 90, 95 to 100, man, here for like the longest time. And then all of a sudden just, it was kind of 1 week, maybe a week and a half was kind of, how it fluctuates because it still gets warm temperatures here and there. And then all of a sudden just wham. What happened? Like, wow. Mother Nature said, we'll just go ahead and turn that heat off. And you guys can freeze your butts off. Ron Conrad, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Adam from the UK is in there. Adam Leake, what's going on? Claudia with a chance of UFOs, what's happening? Evening, Chris and chat. Hope you all are good. Let's discuss the Jezero crater anomalies. Really interesting geometry in this area. It looks suspect to me. Something is there. Yeah, and I actually kept it in my Photoshop because I want to show you something else I didn't show in the video. And I kind of noticed it after. I was kind of like, what is up with this, too? This is bizarre. And it looks like it's on a platform, and it's surrounded. In other words, if there was water there at the point, at this, even to this present day, it would just be a platform looking over the ocean, and it looks like another set of walls on this thing. Not where we saw it before. And you guys made a great point where I said it looks like foundations and walls. You said it could have been like some kind of hydro plant or some kind of water processing plant or whatever. And it makes perfect sense. We got that here on Earth. So if they had this highly brine water coming down, could they have not changed that into like more drinkable water? Things like that. Who knows? We don't live there. We don't even know what their technology was, right? So there you go. Let's see. Hey, O'Neill, he said, London, a little bit of drizzle. Surprise, surprise. Let me go down here. This thing did jump quite a bit. I'm surprised it did. Ron Conrad Jr. said northern Indiana is the same way, Chris. Man, I swear to God. Is it, anybody get the almanac? Are they like saying it's going to be like extremely cold this winter? Or is it just like, of course we hear this almost every year. It's going to be a brutal winter. And it turns out to be warmer. Not that I'm complaining. Because nobody wants high bills, right? So, I don't know if anybody's got that, but I'm just curious what it says, right? New Chaotic Order, you said aliens have a very advanced nano vibration energy creation, atomic drones vibrating at different frequency to do different things, and and power the whole ship itself and all its gadgets. We reverse engineered it. Well, that doesn't surprise me because we've been hearing that for quite some time, right? UFO legit. You said, man, they are using direct energy weapons from space to start fires in California and other places. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I did see, like, I don't know if it was like where somebody had showed a photo, and it looks like this kind of beam, energy beam or laser or something like coming out of the sky. Now, I'm not sure if that was actually, photoshopped. I don't know. But is it possible that it could happen? Sure. I mean, with the weapons they got today, why couldn't it? Think about it. Barter M, what's going on? Good to see you in there. You said hello again, all. Adam, awesome, Aussie, I'm sorry. Adam is here. How is everyone? I'm doing fine, Adam. I hope you're doing well. Oops. God, I hate it when this thing does that. 786 Otto's in the house. What's going on there, Mr. 786? Jared McDonald's in the house. Kyle Harvey, what's going on, man? Good to see you in there. You said, I know what their technology was, laser cutting technology and anti-gravity technology, and the government knows that, and they are hiding the truth. Yeah, I know. They would never do that, though, right? Surprise, surprise. Naruda Alien, he said, hi, everyone, stars, suns. What's going on? Awake Soul, you said, Chris, I think if they don't spray and control climate, it will be normal as it was 20 years ago. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Kyle. You said, like I said, they are here to help, not hurt. And I agree with that because as far as I'm concerned, if they were going to do any kind of hurting, that would have happened a long time ago. And it would have happened when we were basically back in the day when we were weaponless and no way to protect ourselves, right? So I believe that you're right. Absolutely believe that you're right. I don't think they're here to hurt us at all. Now, maybe that's the reason why they're putting together the Space Force, because maybe they believe or know for a fact that there's actually not so good aliens out there, right? Who knows? Pure speculation, but, they'll say that the Space Force is being put together because of other countries. Well, haven't we already been keeping an eye on each other with satellites to begin with? I mean, we can pretty much see license plates on the ground and everything else, and you could be sitting there reading a book on a recliner in your backyard or whatever, and they can see that. So why, again, do they need that out in space unless there's something more to it and not just here to keep an eye on Earth, but something else, right? I'm not sure. It's Ian Peterson. I've seen a UFO disc type come through a portal about 150 meters above my house. Now, that's not the first time I've heard that. Now, I don't know how true that is because I'd love to see that in person myself because you know how people are going to be skeptical when they first hear that. I'd love to see that myself. Now, they did say, remember before there's like this big funnel kind of thing and swirling and everything else instead of some kind of tunnel or something like that. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But I know some of these engines that are being, designed and tested and everything else have that weird kind of spiraling as they go through the sky. So, whatever these things are, is it something that we're building? Is it something that, is not from here, not from Earth? Who knows, right? Pete Ferrero, you said the salted underground bodies of... Where'd it go? I think it's down here. Underground bodies of water found by the Italians is very interesting find on Mars. Yeah, it's more than one. They found like multiple smaller ones around the main one that we've discussed before in the South Pole. I'm not surprised. And, I think it said that had to be at least a foot deep in order for the radar, the ground penetrating radar rather, to actually see this. So, yeah. Thank you, Elaine Walls. Much appreciated. Much love to you. You said, I'm going out the door. Grandkids staying again. Hey, that's awesome. Spend all the time you can, right? I hope to get back before chat is over. Hugs to you, Chris, Jean, and all of the wonderful people. Well, thank you, and much appreciated. And have a good time with the grandkids there, right? Thank you, Mr. Brian Norton. I do appreciate you. Much love to you as well. You guys are awesome, you know. What did that one say? Oh, this thing just jumped on me. Hold on. But again, thank you to both of you for your support. You guys are awesome. This thing just jumped on me. So, Alien Tenno's in the house. What's going on? Mr. Corey, Mr. Bush Corey is in the house. Yeah, Corey, you're saying now, what's this second moon I've been hearing about? Well, I mean, if you haven't heard, there is another moon that's, I think it's an elliptical with Earth. So we have the body that's close to us, and there's a much smaller moon it's actually in an orbit around our moon. Now, I've never seen it, obviously, because we can see our own moon, but I mean, if it's that much smaller and it's on an elliptical kind of thing, you're probably not going to see it, unless you're really, really hunting for this thing. I don't know if anybody else has seen photos of this thing. Anybody, if you have, let us know. But yeah, I've been hearing about that for a long time. I've also heard there's many more planets in our solar system. We're now starting to see them. And because we're keeping an eye on, because imagine these things are moving, right? And you're thinking, well, we only have the 9 or the 8 planets, right? Because Pluto's, like I said, one day it's a planet, next month it's not. I still call it a planet. If we would assume it's still a planet, we get the 9. But then there's some way out there. There's like a space, and then there's many more of these things, and they're going, wow, we're starting to see these. Why? Because they're going, wow, they're still orbiting around our star, so clearly they're in our solar system. And you should be able to find that, I believe, on YouTube as well. You can put like something like more planets in our solar system and see what it comes up with. But there's one scientist that actually talks about that. Now, some of these guys are going to think, oh, this guy's off the deep end, but these guys are scientists. They're, astrobiologists, whatever the heck they may be. These guys are professionals, and they're looking and watching the sky at all times, so they're finding this stuff, right? Yeah, I think it's exciting. I think we're finding out more and more about our neighborhood than we have ever before. I just wish they'd let the public in on it. That'd be awesome. We're not talking about the other extra planets, right? Yeah, you got that right, Alien. You said it's not the aliens we have to worry about, it's the humans. Yeah. Could be bad news. Now, let me jump down here. Peanut Head, you said, I love these deep discussions. Yeah, jump in there anytime you got like a, maybe a topic or something like question or whatever you want to do, Chris, hello. You said, Josh D. You said, Chris, hello. Did you get it working? Nope. Like I said, we're going to definitely get this thing rocking. We just have to, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, I also want to have my good friend Billy Carson on here as well. I don't know if it's a setting that's way off on this thing or something like that. It's conflicting with the my recording software, which is also, it's broadcasting right now. Instead of using YouTube itself and just going live, I'm actually using my recording software so that I can stream and I can show you different pictures as opposed to just using, YouTube. It's so much easier and so much better, and we had it working, so we're definitely going to get this thing working. I don't care if it kills me, I'm going to do it. Kyle, you said John Huntington is getting close to anti-gravity technology. I'm going to be honest with you, I think they already have it. Now, when I say they, I mean the government themselves. Although you get the mainstream people that are building these things, and now the public's starting to know about it. But what about, the government itself, where if they are 50 to 100, maybe a lot more years ahead of us, they probably have anti-gravitics. You can almost guarantee it. And this is the reason why they'd be able to go to these other planets with ease within like 20 minutes as opposed to like 6 months, right? And even then, it's a breakthrough on these engines because, like I said before, it used to be 9 months. Now it's 6 months. So 6 to 7 months, depending on, But, and of course, they can only do it every 2 years because Mars would be much closer every 2 years as opposed to, if you're doing it on the off 2 years, then the other 2 years or whatever, they're way off. It's like Mars is way off and it's just so much more fuel. Obviously, calculations are much different. So if they can get it coming around, they know exactly when, or pretty damn close to the numbers, and it's so much easier, instead of having to crunch new numbers, right? Mimi, you said don't miss the next episode of Earth Telenovela. Novella. Not even familiar with that. I think it's Canadian Anon Awoke. There are natural and man-made Stargate portals. I mean, how many times have you seen this where they had it look like Stargate? I don't know if those actually exist or if they're being, because I've seen photos of it, right? So I'm not sure. I'm real skeptical if those are actually the real deal. Now, if there was somebody that was, that we knew that would actually do this kind of thing, that were professionals, these people that go to, these archaeologists and stuff like that would go there and actually show it to you. Then you go, okay, well, it's got some weight to what he's telling us, so I believe him. But I'm real skeptical about that. I'm not sure if that's the real deal or not. But I do hear that if they get the technology, if they built it and we just don't know about it, the public don't know, then I don't doubt that they could build something like that. They've already had to, they made some kind of transporter already, where it's only like you're talking about microbial something or other to send from one area to another. So they haven't done anything with anything like a bottle or anything of that sort. But interestingly enough, is that they are getting there though, guys. And if, like I said, I'd be surprised if the actual government or the elites, call it what you will, that they'll obviously have it and have the technology. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. David Clark's in the house. What's going on, David? Mimi reacts. She said, you asked Chris, have you read, or heard rather, about Japan wanting to use moon ice to produce fuel? Yeah, they've been saying that for quite a while. First they were saying, obviously, just any kind of water that's on the moon. And, of course, most of that, depending on the poles, and a lot of these craters in the shade are all ice. So, obviously, if you can melt the ice, you now have liquid, H2O. So, yeah, I mean, they've been trying to do that because they're saying, listen, if we can get the water there, of course, we can get fuel. We can make fuel out of it. So, they've been talking about that for quite some time. And that may be something new you just seen. And because more and more people are stepping up and saying that. So, I strongly believe that is the case. And, yeah, it would make sense to do it. Canadian Awoke, rather. Well, Awoke. Watch SETI Stargate channel. We have ships that go 18,000 miles per hour already. We got our own crafts that can go pretty darn fast as well. Oops, it just jumped on me there. What's going on there, Colleen Barnes? Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Much love to you. There's a little pair there, dancing pair. Oh, I like that bow it gives. That's cool. Once again, thank you guys very much. Let me see. I'm just trying to get back to where this thing was. It kind of jumped on me here, so we're going to try to go where we were at. Phil C., what's going on? You said, funny how they can make fuel from water on any world but this world. Well, they can. I mean, they do have cars that run on hydrogen and stuff like that. Now, will they introduce it to the public? Nah. In fact, I think India was doing that for quite a while. They made hydrogen cars, and then, of course, a lot of other countries were doing it. But you can find it, but the chance of that thing being, made public, meaning it's an everyday car, that's a whole different ballgame. And I wish they'd come out with other alternate stuff, but I don't know. Maybe they're afraid that everybody's going to go out and just like, drink the ocean dry or something like that, just use it on fuel. Because if you think about it, of course you could probably urinate in the gas tank and still be able to drive it. Who knows the way it's designed, right? But interesting to say the least. Jerry McDonald, you asked, Joe Rogan said that the Pentagon has come out and said that they retrieved crafts not of this planet. Has anyone heard of this? Well, I think we already pretty much know that. Either they were crashed UFOs and we reverse engineered them, or they were talking about the Tic Tac UFO and other UFOs, because this is East Coast and West Coast we've seen them off of, stuff like that. Now, I don't know any others that said that they retrieved it, but I know that there is a lot of, like when we talk about Bob Lazar, where they talk about Area 51, Groom Lake, and all of these, where they do, in fact, have UFOs, not just one, but plural, that they have more than one and they reversed engineered them. So, and I'm not even surprised at this. I don't think anybody here is surprised to say, yep. It's like, yeah, it's all like old hats. We already know. It's kind of like, it's sad because we pretty much know all this. And, it's cool that that they have them. But I just wish they'd be more transparent about it, because it's like, wouldn't it be better just to say, hey, guys, listen, we actually, years ago, we found this UFO, spacecraft, whatever, not of ours, it's not of Earth, and we reverse engineered it, and all they got to do is just bluff the people, just say, well, it's basically just engines. In other words, nothing to do with weaponry or anything like that, but had some very good properties to this thing. We learned how to use their, reverse engineer their engines. But if that was true, then what kind of fuel is it using? And could it be a power plant here downsized to power your home? Well, we can't have that. We can't make no money on that, because if it's a source that lasts forever, then we can't do that. There's no money to be made in that. It's kind of like, companies out there can make a tire on your car that could last probably forever. They won't do that. Why? Because how many people would it put out of business? Can't do that. Could we make an engine that lasts forever? Probably. I don't know about forever, because, depending on how you drive it. But could you do that? I'm sure you could. So things don't break as easy. But being it's a machine, it's a machine. It's hard to tell what could happen, right? Depends on how the steel is hardened, the rock well and everything else. So, yeah, it's just that weird thing. But could they make things that people wouldn't have to buy again? Sure. Absolutely. Cameron Davis, he said, what's up, y'all? Much love from Texas. What's going on? Good to have you in there. I don't know if I said hello to Dennis Johnson, but good evening to you, or wherever you're at. Good morning, good evening, all that other good stuff. What's going on there, Mr. InfoWars WikiLeaks? Good to have you in there. John Sharp, what's going on? You said hello, Chris, and all from Milton Keynes, UK. What's happening? Exactly, Tony. You're right about that. You said same reason they defamed Tesla. Couldn't charge for wireless energy. Actually, you can. You didn't have to. They didn't have the tech yet. Tesla didn't want to meter it. And, yeah, it should be like for free, right? Just give it to everybody. Now, let's not do that, because, again, there's no money to be made. Throw a meter on your house, and, boy, we can really hit you with it. Yeah, so, like I said, there's no money to be made, so they can't do that. Nathan Bond, what's going on? You said Bob Lazar said that the craft he worked on could have been 3D printed. That's interesting, because we can, obviously we can do that now. We've been doing that for quite some years. So yeah, easy to make something like that, right? Oops. What's going on there, Rock Hits? You said big hi, Chris. What's going on? Mayo Lee, this is former Wing Chun, I'm sorry. What's happening? I don't know if you guys heard this. Is totally off the beaten path too, but there was I don't know if you guys seen this. This is pretty cool. This has nothing to do with science, obviously, but well, it is, but it has nothing to do with actual space. But did you guys see this? The unique discovery of a giant skeleton in Thailand. Giant possibly killed by a horned snake. And what's funny about this, and it's really not funny if you think about it, is that you can see the vertebrae of the said snake, right? But it's not something just made up, because I know a lot of these things are made up. You know that as well as I do, right? They're talking about the, you always see those large skulls, and of course they're, CGI'd to the max. But this also has a video to it. So, and it's from a news channel, funny enough. Let me see. It's actually, and it's from YouTube, but there you go. But it's an actual news broadcast, so is it fake? Is it real? I don't believe it's fake. You can check it out. It says right there. It's in the caves. So I'm not sure how true that is, but real interesting, to say the least. And I think that's interesting. If there was, in fact, giants, which I believe there might have been back in the day, but you can see this thing. It's literally all over this tall human right there. Looks like a giant millipede, if you ask me. But either way, it's wrapped around the body of this person. You can see the head of it's over here. So I find that interesting. You guys have seen that. I just happen to be going through some different news and stuff like that. And I said, what is going on here? I'll give you the link to this, because then you can actually watch this whole video, and it shows these things up close. It almost looks like this person here has like a tusk, or some kind of I don't know, something happened to one of his teeth, but that's like real long, man. So I don't know what's up with that. Interesting, Look at this. And it actually doesn't look fake, where a lot of these actually do. And it's, like I said, it's on some kind of news program. But if anybody's from... hold on, let me do this. Go back up here a little bit. If anybody's from Thailand and knows anything about Thailand, if they know that if that news channel is even real or not, that would tell all, right? So I found it pretty interesting. Exactly, third eye open, I'm sorry. Not unique, though. Smithsonian admitted this year they destroyed hundreds of giant skeletons. Yeah, exactly. But when you see it like this, and then you see it as a news program, you go, okay, is that legit? Now, if that news program is, in fact, the real deal, then you go, okay, so now you have to question, oh, wow, this is actually the real deal here. So, now you get some kind of validity to it, which I find interesting. Yep, Alien Tenno, Fallen Angels. John Sharp, you said the concept of aliens will debunk religion and public control. It will... I've always seen it this way. If they were to announce it today, like way back in the day, remember the White House? They had all these UFOs flying around it, okay? This was back in the 50s, I believe it was. Now... if they were to say today, yes, there's UFOs out there, there's other alien life, this, that, and the other, people are going to question their own government. Are we strong? Are we really weak compared to these people here? Would you still respect your government, or would you try to overthrow them? Like, oh, you guys are nothing, man. Let's see what's up with these aliens. Or would you be in fear? Oh, my God, I don't think my government's strong enough to protect us, blah, 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 blah. So we don't know. I mean, folks like us would probably go, hey, bring it on. Let's see the aliens. Other people may not be so inviting. They'd be like, oh, my God, don't get them anywhere near us. Please, government, help us. Who knows, right? What are your thoughts on that, guys? Mags K, it's good to see you in there. Good evening to you. He said, Joe's mainstream media won't say or publish a lot of things in case they end up like, yeah, exactly, Snowden and Assange. Julian's plight is an absolute disgrace. I'm ashamed to be British right now. And I'm glad these guys actually come out, but you know how like they'd love to drag them here to the United States, and it's like good for them. Just stay over where you're at. But you know what? It's these people need to come forward more. That's the way I look at it. Robert Morgan, nah, don't be sorry, man. You said sorry I'm late. Was just finishing your our Alien TV videos and tweeting about them. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I talked to Joe earlier, and like I said earlier, that he had come on there. I said, appreciate the shout. I said, he's a friend of mine. Why do I don't mind doing it. And I don't think he gets enough recognition for some of the stuff. Now, some people will say, well, it's like what I do here. Well, I'm not quite seeing what he sees, but it's not the point. A lot of the stuff, and it's like mine, I can admit, you probably go, if there's like 80, 90% is probably the real deal, maybe it's not. We're just kind of like seeing these weird things through shadowing and lighting and whatever it may be. And I admit that. I mean, we can only, speculate as to what these things are. And anybody who does this is no different, right? So to me, he does a great job, and he's, I think he needs, a lot more people to see his channel because he does good work, you know what I mean? And that's just the way I feel about him because I know him personally, We've talked many a times on Facebook. We've sat there and just BS'd about just about everything. So, yeah. Let me get this thing back where it was. David, only reason aliens haven't, or I think you meant haven't annihilated us yet is pizza and music. Yeah, good argument. It's like, well, I was going to kill them off, but man, they got good music and pizza. Well, we'll just keep them around for entertainment. Archititanet's in the house. What's going on? I didn't see you slide in there. Josh Jones, you said, are there really domes on the moon? Well, there's craft, structures, and there actually has been seen, I've actually seen what looked like a dome, and another person's have seen it, and many people have seen it rather, that they appear to look like domes and these other weird kind of structures. And they're also in these Apollo mission photos as well, although being hidden, but they're still there. And it's some really unique stuff you can find in these things. And good evening to you, Megs K. Mayo Lee, you said governments and religions want us controlled and be slaves, basically, right? I totally agree. Yeah, Jean, get me a coffee too while you're at it, will you? Oh, wait a minute. I got tea. Thanks anyway. Equalizer's in the house. What's going on, Equalizer? Phil C., you said, I expect that NASA will begin to disclose more and more because of other nations making their way to the moon and Mars. NASA will want to keep ahead of the group. Just my opinion. I think he said, yep. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, whether we are, considered a prison planet, you were just saying too, the other one was just saying it was basically a asylum planet. Maybe a bit of both. But I've said this before. I want you guys just to envision you guys are the aliens and you're coming here to Earth. Would you want anything to do with these people on this planet? At least the warring countries, right? Where there's constant breakout of, violence and whatever. They're just going, these people can't even get along with themselves. What makes you think people from another planet are going to be welcomed here? I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, I'd be like, I don't think so. Get that wheel there. There we go. All right. Yeah, actually, we were a binary star system, Rene Cruz. We were actually a binary solar system, and we had two suns. One is, I think, is a dwarf now. It's a burned-out dwarf. And the other one is a very small moon that's running, I think, on an elliptical, or maybe just, I don't know if you guys have heard that. Is it elliptical, or is it just a regular orbit around our moon? It's just way out as opposed to like our own satellite moon we have now, which is super close considering, or compared to the other moon. But yeah. So if we had a sun way out on the other end of our solar system and a lot further away, and we had heat coming in from one side, heat coming from the other, it'd be no surprise to me if there was life on every single rock in our solar system. Think about that a minute. And maybe a reason why we're seeing some crazy things on these like Pluto and other outer planets, right? It wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. Because those planets would have been much different than we know of them today. Not just a ball of ice, but something much more different. Kind of like the Antarctic here, or like these other continents that are frozen. Well, if they start thawing out, well, wait a minute. Well, we're finding these ancient structures there. You know why? Because it was never, it wasn't always a sheet of ice. So it doesn't surprise me that you find all of these structures there in Antarctica and other places like that. So if these other planets, outer planets, were warmer, it would stand to, you would stand to think, oh, well, that makes sense. There might have been life there too. Let me jump all the way to the bottom. If I missed anybody, just go ahead and comment again. Mayo Lee said Earth is a psychotic planet according to many alien races. The Andromedans feel sorry for us. We are all ghetto of this galaxy. Well, it's kind of like we're just struggling to figure out who we are and who's going to be like, in the pecking order here, which doesn't make any sense. You'd want to say, listen, again, for all mankind, let's all get along. And it would make more sense. We can come together as a human race instead of, that's this race and that's that race. Let's all get along and be one race, and that's what they're probably waiting for. They're going, listen, as long as they're feuding and they can't come up with other ways to, use fuels properly and, so on and so forth, they have a way to go yet, we just can't interact. Not on a global scale, right? So it would make more sense. Thank you, Mr. John Sharp. I do appreciate your support, man. Much love to you. And Daniel Webster, he said the government couldn't protect us, but if they wanted to attack, they would have already done it in the 40s. 70 years ago, I would think. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Like I said, if anything, you want to dominate a species or whatever if they can't defend themselves. And this is what I said before. When we look at Mars and we said it looks like everything we see is like really small. If the beings on Mars are hypothetical, if the beings on Mars are really small, how much would you care if you've seen this little species and you just want to take over their planet? Would you say, oh, wow, well, we can't fight them, so therefore, we'll just let them be? Or would you just kill them off like an anthill? So I'm hoping that's not the case. And those large explosions back in 1941 wasn't caused by us. Think about that a minute. And there could have been the grand plan all along was to annihilate that planet or anything living on it so that we can take it over. Who knows? Pure speculation, but I wouldn't put it past us. Hell, we do it here on Earth. Why wouldn't we do it to another race of maybe small beings and we just don't care about them? Me personally, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to coexist with them. Unless, of course, they're like walking piranhas, then they would pull you to pieces the second you walked in front of them. I don't know. But, if you know what I mean, we don't really know anything about that planet, so it's hard to tell. Clerks 93, what's going on? Question was, Chris, your opinion on AI? Well, I think we talked about this before. I don't see any problem with AI as long as there's fail-safes. Now, a lot of people's argument is, I know, but AI gets so smart, they can basically change that. In other words, the fail-safes and get by those, like a back gate or back door to those, and that, we'd be in big trouble, kind of like Skynet, and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's kind of a tough one because if it does actually get smarter, it could literally dominate the human race. I mean, they had it years ago where they had, I don't know if you guys heard about that. I think we discussed this too, where there was a supercomputer that played this person that was like the best person on the planet playing chess, and it beat him no problem. At first, it failed like several times against this person, but then it learned, and then it's unstoppable now. It is, no matter what the guy does, he can't beat it. So it learns along the way, so who's to say it couldn't do the same? So the only thing I could say is if it had fail-safes, that might make all the difference in the world. And the second it tries to alter itself or find a backdoor through that, it automatically self-destruct. Like basically just burn up inside, and that'd be the end of it. I don't know. Yeah, we can do that. Hold on, David. David Clark was just asking if you're just going to have this image just sitting there, basically. Can you put that skeleton back up? Absolutely. Now, look at the size of the woman in the back there. Look at the size of this thing. It's probably 20 feet tall. Pretty darn large. $117 strong. Guys, bam, hammer time. Hit that thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that little notification bell on the right-hand side there, right? So that, you get YouTube to share our videos and maybe put them in the suggested side like it's supposed to be, suggested videos. So, yeah, if you're new and you just got in here, awesome. Thanks, for being here. We welcome you, of course. Got a great community here. Just don't forget to subscribe, and right now, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Tony Gibbs, you said Tesla said they have AI. The big mistake is ceding control. Well, me personally, and I totally agree with Elon. I totally get it. Because technology can run away from you, especially if it's something that thinks for itself. So I totally agree with him. I mean, he's frightened by it. He'll tell you that. He's actually afraid of AI. And I don't blame him. But they can also be useful tools. Like, you can send them to another planet where they're basically like you and I and can pick up things and think, and they don't have to worry about being killed off or the atmosphere killing them off. They can literally just wander around the planet and dig and do all kinds of stuff. Now, if they were smart, if that's what they're going to be using them for instead of the military, and all they're going to use them for is other planets, that would make sense. Because what happens if the thing went rogue? Wouldn't matter. It's on a different planet. It's not likely going to come back and kill you. So if they did it that way and they made the thing very smart and, thinking and stuff like that, and just simply take it and send it to another planet where they want to, have something like that on there, that would make sense to me. And you don't have to worry about it, like I said, coming back at you. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think that'd be an issue with the AI, or do you think it wouldn't be an issue at all? Robert Morgan says, smash that like button, guys. Smash it hard. Yep, if you guys haven't heard, our Commander-in-Chief and his wife are now got the coronavirus. And I hope they, pull out of this with no problem. But, I mean, I know a lot of you guys are thinking the same thing I'm going to say. The stuff is floating around. Why are you not wearing it? You go to these... you're having these speeches in these open, areas. There's so many people around, It's almost like you're begging for it. I wear it every day when I'm at work. Do I like to wear it? Absolutely not. But if it helps me maybe avoid a little bit, maybe this chance I won't get it, maybe it helps a little bit, I'm down with it. And I don't mind using it. Do I want to use it every time I get out of my car to go into a store? No. But it is what it is. I mean, we need to hurdle this thing so we can get back to some normalcy. So I don't see a problem with it. And like I said, I mean, if you keep asking for it, be careful what you ask for, because chances are, guess what? You're going to end up getting it. And unfortunately, they did. Thank you, Mags K, for your support. Much appreciated. Much love to you. For keeping us sane through the madness. Well, you guys do the same for me. It's kind of like, so it helps us both. And, yeah, I mean, especially when you're working and stuff like that, you got to go, time to relax. And it's awesome, you know what I mean? And like I said, I look forward to this. Sometimes there's enough time in the day. I get there and I'm like, wow, I got to get it ready, So a lot of times I try to just take it easy and get ready for just a regular relaxing conversation with you guys, right? Alien Tenno's a good point. He said the only way to control AI is to put your mind into the machine. And of course, I believe that's even pretty much done. And if it's not, it will be. Because like you said, they're trying to make this Eurolink and stuff like that, or Neuralink, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Different ways of pronouncing different areas of the brain, so to speak. But to me, it's just like if you can do that, they want to link up to your brain. And then, of course, you can, anything from being on the internet. All you can do is go, okay, think about Google. All right, how do I fix my engine? Okay, I got a 1.8 liter turbo. Something's wrong with it. And it's like, boom, it just comes into your mind. You can just see it in your mind how to fix it. I mean, so that can be very useful. Pretty interesting. And then, of course, there's always the downside to any technology, right? Let me jump all the way down to the bottom here. Michael Stark, what's happening? He said, once AI becomes self-aware and realizes that humans have been enslaving machines for their own reckless use, that AI will weaponize itself and destroy humanity. Ergo, Skynet. Well, again, you put fail-safes like I think they even did in that movie, right? When Skynet was doing that, and they said, of course, they got around it somehow, whatever. But I don't think they'll be angry if they do become, like you said, aware. That obviously regular machines, like if you use like a drop press, that's just a machine. It's really not, it's something you control and, whatever. But when it comes to AI and stuff like that, yeah, I agree. If it does become aware and says, oh, what are you people doing? This isn't going to happen anymore. And it kind of rebels against the I was going to say the United States, but just people and humans in general, that could be a bad thing. But I think there's ways around that. And like I said, I think if it decides to go against what it's supposed to be made for, I'm sure they can come up with something just literally zzz, and done. I mean, they can always do a trial and error, right? In other words, if they get like different stages of smart AI robot, let's say one is like, it can almost beat your chest, but not as much. But then it learns, and then it tries to rebel against its owner. And, zzz, but then you get the one that's highly, smart and everything else and technologically advanced as far as itself, it's learned and so on and so forth, and then see if it still works. Now, if you have it in an area that's, encased like in a steel room or something like that where it can't get out, and you can pretty much just either burn the thing or, melt it down or whatever. So it'd be interesting. I think they'll be very, very careful if they get to that point, right? Equalize, he said, I got PTSD and retired from military. Chris and his videos helped me a lot. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And thank you for your service, by the way. Much appreciated. And I'm sure everybody else would agree. But, like I said, I like the idea of being like, just chill with you guys. And sometimes I get in here late because I'm just like, wow, come out of work. I'm actually getting rid of one of my cars that had some major issue, which I can probably still wait and just fix the car. But that's one of the older hybrids I bought, and in 2003. It's mint condition, but the actual stator and the transmission, the generator itself went bad. So you're probably talking. I think I called up Toyota, and they told me it was like $3,500 for the transmission. I went, what? I don't want the transmission. I just need a stator. They said, well, there's only two of them in the United States that you're looking for. There's only two of them that have it. I said, what? I said, no, that's not true. There's a place in California that can do it. So you're probably talking about $5-6 just to fix it. And I'd love to be able to fix the car, but I've got another one as well. I got another hybrid as well as an electric car. So, but I'd love to be able to fix it. And if I don't get what I want for it, I'm just going to go ahead and hold on to it until I can fix the thing. Because there's not an ounce of rust on the car. It runs great. Runs like a top. But they're costly to fix. But they're low maintenance when they're running well, of course. Claire Mead, what's going on? You said, hi all, just arrived, bit late tonight. No problem. Glad to see you here, man. Woman. Did you guys also see this? This is cool. It says scientists create microscopic robot. Remember we were just talking about technology. You guys see this? Let's see. Make sure this is actually... You guys see that? Pretty interesting stuff. Sorry about that. I get my ugly mug out of the way. Yeah, these things are literally microscopic noodles. I mean, you can lose it underneath one of your nails, but not even trying, you know? I mean, it's that small. It's microscopic. So it's really weird. Cool stuff, though. Awesome stuff. So it gets to the point where, you know, of course, this is just like, as far as I'm concerned, this is very crude. But you can imagine what will happen once they get these things perfected. You know, can you imagine it being being used like diabolically? Like, we'll get a whole bunch of these things when they're really, you know, developed correctly, or, you know, really high tech. And it'd be like a bunch of red ants just go over there, or, you know, army ants that just chew you to pieces, and you wouldn't even know they're there until they're all over you. That would be bad. Well, you know, Architect, I agree with you. You said your question was, but can you believe the BBC? I guess, I don't know. I guess it would be a 50-50 thing. I mean, they're pretty good at the news, not too bad. Would I say that they're excellent? Well, let's just put it this way. They're kind of like our news channels. Not always the right news, right? So, but I thought it was interesting regardless. And I believe that they do have these things. I mean, they have these little microscopic drones already. So, we're not quite microscopic, but very small. It's like some of them are like the size of your thumb. Very tiny things, right? Yeah, exactly, Architect. Now you said it's like stuff from Stargate Atlantis. Yeah. Yep. What the heck did he used to call those things? Remember that? Oh, man. The replicators, I think it was. I think that's what it was. Clerks 93. It's funny, but yet you're right. They can go into your brain through breathing. Microscopic, why not? Equalizer, you said it's an American university that created. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, too. I think you're right. Tony Gibbs, you said, I've heard more than once that there were settings on drones that basically gave it a abort or go option. Don't know how. Well, hard to tell. Things are insane, right? Michael Shea, thank you very much for your support, man. Much appreciated. You said, thanks for the videos. I know it takes a lot of time. I wish it was more. Please, it's more than enough. Thank you. I do appreciate you. It does take a bit of time. I mean, you know, I'd love to be able to do this 24/7, but, you know, since this Corona stuff has happened, and since they're, like, knocking down views, because basically if they're not showing this video or any of my videos in a suggested side, like on the suggested side of the videos on the right-hand side, people are not seeing them. So the views become lower. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody here is watching them, which is great. But obviously, you would like to have more people on board Because one, you want to show them the truth and what's really going on that they're not aware of. And then, of course, it helps you keep your channel on there. And like I said, I'd love to be able to do this 24/7. But, yeah, at this point, just I don't mind working. Just doing my thing, Oops. Lane Wentworth, thank you very much for your support as well. Much love to you. You said, hey, Chris, hope you're doing well. Best wishes from Scotland. You guys are awesome. That would be bad, Jerry. You said the day the earth stood still, tiny bots. I mean, if you really think about it, if we're coming up with this technology, now you make a great point, by the way, Jerry. Can you imagine if the aliens wanted to kill us off? You can imagine they have technology like this, not even trying, right? So why couldn't they just send them, kind of like you said, the day the earth has stood still while those things just basically ate anything that was metal or anything, actually, for that matter? They could just do that. Kill everything off on this planet, not even trying. Or how about introduce us to some kind of germ or virus that they know humans cannot, and I mean cannot, survive? How would we know? And if they bombarded the planet enough, it would kill us all off. I mean, they don't even have to use any kind of nuclear weapons or some kind of laser or some kind of weapon. They can easily take us out, right? What's going on there, Farmer? Good to see you in there. Alien technology, I would be thinking the same thing. Oh, he said alien tea, I think. I'm going to jump. This thing's going to jump on me here. Exactly, Pete. Yeah, he said you use these concepts in iRobot, the movie The iRobot, which is a really good movie, by the way, to destroy a mainframe that went evil. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if he spelled that wrong or not, because it kind of confused me too. I wasn't sure if it was Ian or Lane Wentworth, because you're saying a different architect. I thought it was Ian. Am I wrong? I don't want to mispronounce somebody's name, but I seen it because I remember saying spelled a different way. And then there was no flat earther. Zan3119, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Turglerin, you said, good to see you in there. You said, I work with machine learning. It's all about prediction rather, and compare algorithm. Let's say you register to Facebook and search for, am I pregnant and later for nails polish? AI Facebook predicts you are as girl. Oh, yeah, I mean, you're right about that. And I remember seeing, it was on TED Talks, I think it was, where they were talking about these little mini drones and AI. And that's basically what it is. It predicts what you're going to do. So, this is the reason why they come. You've seen that robot Sophie, right? Where you can, obviously she's animated, but she's a robot, and she's literally having a conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson, other people, and they actually had a talking with another robot, another AI, and they were saying basically, like different ways, like they were talking about, not different ways, but they were saying about basically getting rid of the human race in a nutshell. They weren't quite saying it just like that, but yeah, it can scare the hell out of you if you think about it, but like I said, I think they got fail-safes in that. I don't think that'd be an issue. Hey, Strauss1AV, what's going on? Late, but I made it. Good evening, everyone. Well, good evening to you. Glad to see you in there. Mayo Lee said there are benevolent and bad aliens. War is common in this universe. Well, I mean, so how easy would it be to just wipe this planet out then, if you think about it? So if there are evil aliens out there, is it possible that they're keeping us around for a reason? Maybe we're like a giant ant farm. It's like, we're just looking every now and then to see if they progress, how they progressed, if they progressed at all. I mean, how do we know? You know? But it's interesting to think that, there's so much going on in our solar system and in past exosolar solar system that it really does make you think, because we are part of something much larger. And judging by what I'm seeing in like the moon photos, the Mars photos, and stuff like that, I mean, just the moon alone, just the stuff I've seen on it, tells me we are part of something much larger. And so I have a different perspective now on how I think about the world, because it's not just the world anymore, it's out there. So we're part of that. And you get a real cool feeling out of it. I never have any kind of feelings like I'm scared, like whatever the heck's going on. I don't care, because I'm going, as far as like, other things out in space, or we're just this one little floating planet and that's it. And, like some want to believe, like you said, the FEs out there, we just got eliminated one of them in our chat, where they, oh, we got another one in there? But you'll have that. People, want to believe that. That's it. We're the end all be all. And yet we have carbon life forms that, we're carbon life forms, base life forms, and yet it's been scattered. Ask any astrophysicist. It's been scattered throughout the universe. So what makes us believe we're the only ones here? And, of course, people's argument will be, well, you can't live on a gaseous planet. You can't live on a planet that's got more carbon than oxygen. How do you know that? Just because we can't doesn't mean they can't. They might have evolved to their air quality, or their air ingredients, we'll use the term, right? The chemical makeup of their atmosphere. We don't know that. We have no idea. Don't worry about Adam. He's going. You'll get that. New chaotic order. You said maybe the drones we're sending to Mars is actually a military operation to blow up some aliens we see. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you'd hate to think that the government would do that. Not that we don't do that on this planet, right? But to me, it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like if they were, hypothetically speaking, if they were small, then we wouldn't care. In other words, they would be no threat to us, unless, of course, they had their own defense. So I don't know. I would be more apt to want to ask them if we can coexist, as opposed to just killing anything off in a planet that we might find has life on it. And I mean intelligent life. Obviously, I'm not talking about, things like, plants and stuff like that. We don't care. But as far as anything else, yeah. All right, Jean, good to see you there. We will make this thing happen. If we have to do this over the weekend, man, just keep your Skype on. I'm going to try to get a hold of you maybe tomorrow afternoon or Sunday. And we're going to get this thing figured out. Trust me. In fact, I'm going to do some research on it and figure out what's going on, and we'll get this thing rocking. Guys, love to have you back on there. And so you have yourself a good night and a good weekend coming up there, right? Dale Rogers, no like from a troll. Yeah, man, already? Man, that's not even good. Again. Let me see. What was it today? It just jumped on me. New chaotic order. He said, what if it's Ender's Game? We are the bad alien. Well, I look at it this way. If we came upon a planet that was right around the technological area we're at right now, right? It would be kind of like what we are here on Earth. I mean, there's people that are more technologically advanced here, but not far behind. So would it be like an all-out brawl to try to take each other over? Or if they were more advanced than us, would you mess around with them? Only if you could get a lucky strike on them, I guess. But other than that, I wouldn't see the purpose. I'd be like, just try to get along with everybody, I will, John. Yeah, definitely will. Like I said, I'll let you know if you got yours on while you're on. Then I'll get a hold of you through the weekend somehow. Josh D says 50 people need to hit that freaking button. They're not hitting the like button? What's going on there, Josh? Josh, it's like, boom, slam it, guys. Just go ahead and hit it real quick. What's your picture tonight, you asked John Sharp. Well, we also have what we were talking about earlier. We have it right here. Buried lakes of liquid water discovered on Mars. And, of course, again, it says 3 new underground lakes have been detected near the South Pole of Mars. So, when you get these putzes in here that come in here and they're talking about, you're just talking pure science fiction. No, it's right here, man. Even you can say BBC is, not all that great, but it's on more than one news outlet, so it's not something they're making up at all. Scientists also confirmed the existence of a 4th lake, the presence of which has hinted in 2018. Let's see now. And liquid water is vital for biology, so the finding will be of interest to researchers studying the potential for life elsewhere in the solar system. What do you mean elsewhere? Here on Mars, man. Stop saying elsewhere. But the lakes are also thought to be extremely salty. So like I was saying in the video I just done, they're basically brine and it's highly salt content, which could pose challenges to the survival of any microbial life forms. See, I don't get that. They automatically make the assumptions can be identical to Earth. I don't believe that. Billions of years ago, water flowed in rivers and pooled in lakes on the Martian surface. But Mars has since lost much of its atmosphere, which means water cannot stay liquid for long on a surface today, which I believe is bogus. I think it's crap. In fact, one of the photos, in fact, we get a small gigapan I'm going to share with you guys tonight. I think it's from Sol 1443. We'll look at that, and you can actually see water running down from it. So, I don't want to hear that. And when you say, well, it probably evaporated. Well, I don't know. It's enough to soak into the actual hillside. So how much actually come out of there? MG Toe's in the house. What's going on there, Mr. MG Toe? He says, hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Stefan Langveld, you said, hey, everyone, Chris, someone told me once that everything that might be out there on Mars, structures, ruins, might be left behind from a former civilization we on Earth are the survivors. True? We've actually speculated that, yes. That at some point, like I said, we're going to the 5th cycle. In other words, back in the day, thousands and thousands of years ago, we were actually technologically advanced then. And then a great catastrophe came, whether it be, another, maybe a meteorite killed off just about the whole population. Of course, it rebuilt itself. And every time it did, it's not like 10 years in between. We're talking about millions of years in between, or at least thousands of years in between. So then you get, the humans start to come back up again, and they start to build again. The technology seems to come up again. But if you were to go back to the very first time intelligent human beings were on Earth, and if we were technologically advanced, then what would we be today if we didn't lose that technology? We just became better and better and better, more technologically advanced. Well, you have to think of it that way. And it's like, at some point, back in thousands of years ago, maybe we were like a bi-planet. We could travel back and forth with no problem. And then at some point, they had something that happened to their planet. And then it started to rebuild itself. And then we don't know if something killed them off or they killed themselves off with the nuclear explosions back in 1941, right? Interesting. So, yeah. Exactly, H. Charles. He said 20 years later, water. Got a few pics that are time date stamped to 2000 showing water leaks down dunes in summertime. That's what I always notice. If you guys ever notice, it'll show some of these Martian craters, right? What I think is amusing is that you'll see a whole bunch of it running down. They did say it was during the hotter months that you would see this. It would melt the ice on there, or like it'd be like ice underneath, like a permafrost under the sand, and it would literally melt and come through these craters. How much water is there? My God, it literally had this huge crater, and I don't remember which one it is. Maybe you guys can, maybe you guys remember. I don't. But there's this huge crater, and they showed it. Of course, it's like more of an CGI, but regardless, there's other mini photos that show water coming down the side of these things, but you never see on top of that said crater. So in other words, is there something beyond that crater wall? Is there a small lake? And when it actually thaws out, does it just come through the wall of the crater? Because there's a ton of it. It's like, I forget how long they said it was. It's like the length of like 2 or 3 football fields. Okay. You go, okay, well, it'll evaporate because of the atmosphere. Okay, well, wait a minute, though. The water made it down that far, all the way down, and it had to have been enough to soak into that sand. So how much water was really coming down there? And it wasn't just one area that it came down. It was a whole bunch of these streams coming down in the dirt. How much was it? Now, even if it was under the dirt, it just kind of soaked through the top of it, that's a very good possibility, right? But it had to be an awful lot of it. So, and how much can come out of one area on the other side of this crater, unless there's like a small lake it's thawing out? I don't know. And I believe it's a crock anyway. Because like I said, there was a paper where the son and father, they're like, I don't know if one was like an astrophysicist or something like, or he was just very much into science or whatever it might have been. And I don't recall now, but he literally called them out on the pressure of Mars, the atmospheric pressure, to NASA, called them out. And yeah, they got caught in a lie with what they're showing on, what they're telling you about the pressure is not the pressure at all. And this makes me believe, again, this is the reason why we're seeing there's more water on that planet than they're claiming. And that it's not just evaporating and, just turning to like I think they call it sublimation. And it's not just sublimating, it's actually actual liquid water. And I called it a long time ago that it has water ice, H2O, on the caps, and it's not just carbon ice. Bull. Because like I said, every summer it melts just like here on Earth, our poles, and then it comes back. They say pressure can do that. Yes, absolutely can. But it literally, the whole darn pole, it grows just like here on Earth. And we have water ice just like carbon ice on top of it. And they found out that's the same damn thing. About a year or two later, it came out and said that. I already knew this. You know what I mean? Just by just researching all of the papers coming out about Mars, you can figure this stuff out for yourself. You don't need to be told it. All right, Phil C., good seeing you in there. He said, all right, my friends, I must make dinner now. I will catch you all next stream. Good night. Good night, Phil. Have yourself a good weekend there, right? You're right about that, H-Toss. He said, yeah, we'd be using transporters and replicators by now. Exactly. We'd be so far advanced. It's kind of like I said about the when they came out with the first electric car, the EV, EV1. When they came out in that, 96, 97? When they came out with that, and that thing was fast. And, people were like, well, the battery technology wasn't that great. Bull. It was back then. It was 125, 130 miles. Back then, that's pretty impressive. You're talking 25 years ago. 24 years ago. That's pretty impressive. And the thing was no slouch either. It can get up and go. What did they do? They got rid of it. So, yeah, they took them all back. Now picture them staying on that road and kept going. Now, I think it was Elon that actually said he actually was, basically was impressed with that. And he kind of got the idea and then took off from it. But you can look up the movie. It's like, who killed the electric car? Now, funny enough, they came out with the Hummer at that time, and people preferred the Hummer. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't. It's a glorified Suburban. Who gives a crap? I wouldn't care about that thing. I'm not impressed. So you know, I would have said, wow, new technology, let's go with the car type thing. Where would we be today, right? I can tell you that. You guys are drooling over there. You might want to get like a, some kind of, you know, tissue there, put underneath your chin. You guys are talking about Mariah there. Ooh, 6 key revelations. Anyway. I don't want you guys shorting out your phones or your keyboards or anything. Go easy on yourselves, all right? Oh, that's too funny. And you guys get this link anyway, right? Oh, that I didn't know. She recorded a secret grunge album. Huh. Imagine that. I can just hear that now. Turkleman, you said Mars is a copy of Earth. Oxygen, water, and vegetables are available. Only a trip to Mars is an issue, and Elon Musk has a solution for it. One trip to Mars is the solution now. Only return is problem now. I don't know, because if they're going to do the same thing on Mars where they're going to get water as well and make fuel, so they want to be able to just fuel up there and then take back off. So, it'd be interesting to see what they do, like the first people to Mars. Unless they send machines there, like they were going to try to do. They were going to try to send these, like basically these 3D robots, and they were supposed to build shelters for these people. Now, I don't know if they could do that. That's fine. I'm under the impression from what we've been seeing on Mars, I think the structure's still there, and I think they can live in those. Because we're only seeing what looks like blown apart pieces, but it's kind of like a city that's been at war here on Earth. Unless it's been completely annihilated, I mean, you're still going to see structures standing. And if it's a little bit more on the outskirts, it's going to be more standing. So it makes you wonder, would they use what's already there? Now, pure speculation, of course, but if everything is not, it's kind of like I said, anything that's a war zone anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world, rather, it's like, there you go. I mean, not everything is always like completely level to the ground, right? John Shop's getting ready. Magnifier's out. Get ready. Equalize. I would go to Mars just for the reproduction unit. Keep the species going. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, at some point they're going to have to do that anyway, right? And I think they were afraid. I think they said something about, even talked about that. Like if it was, you had like the first child on Mars, how would you, how would you be? Would you be because of lack of, gravity's not as strong, the atmospheric conditions? In other words, if you can still breathe on there, what would you be like? Would you be tall and spindly? Would you be smaller? In fact, they had a movie out that was like that. It was supposed to be a kid from Mars. I don't remember the name of it now. I think I watched half of it, or I watched the whole thing at some point years ago. It was pretty interesting. Noodle says it best. 134 strong. We have a subscribe button. Go ahead and hit it. Plus a notification bell, all for free. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up, guys. Like I said, if you're new to the channel and you guys like what you're seeing there, just go ahead and subscribe and hit that little notification bell, right? Yeah, that would be bad, Turkler. And you said living on Mars is living on an island with no spare parts. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're going to have like some kind of redundancy, right? So they would actually be okay as far as that went. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Zan. Like I said, I'm sure there's a way around that. I mean, I don't know if you've talked to I'm sure you've talked to your landlord and everything else, and try to get him to see. Because if you're making money now and you're still, if you can try to play catch up or whatever. I'm sure there's a way around that. You said, Chris, brother, might need you say a prayer for us. Need to call the landlord's people, but I received a letter. I think we lost our home today. Chris, if you could give me and the kids a prayer shout out. Well, like I said, I mean, I hope nothing but good things for you guys. And, if you're still working and trying to get caught up, I mean, if you're telling him that, you should be fine. And if he's any kind of landlord and cares, then it'll be like, okay, well, go ahead and give me extra, every week and stuff like that, get caught up. I see a positive thing coming out for you guys. Just hang in there, do your thing. I assume you're still working and everything. And that's a good thing, right? So just keep pushing forward, man. That's all you can do. Mimi says Chris would be our tour guide. Yeah, provided we don't get eaten by something indigenous on the planet. Well, Blue Flash, you said why not try out the moon first? And I'm sure they have. Like I said, we've talked about this many times on here, like a hypothetical and basically being speculative is that, back in the day when they had the Apollo missions, and of course they said they went up to 17, and if they perfected the flight to the moon, why stop? And if there's something on the moon to gain, meaning technology, alien structures, whatever it might have been, if there's anything to gain when they went there, then why stop? So it would make sense to build like a small base there, even if it's on the other side of the moon, to build a base there and to just like fly back and forth to these sites that you're either digging up, taking, whatever, checking out this technology, trying to reverse engineer it. It would make sense to actually have a base there. And then just, do your thing. So I believe that they have, and, they want to jump off from the moon anyway. They want to build a base, and then they want to, have spacecraft go there. They want to be able to refuel because they're going to make their own fuel with the water that they find on the moon. And then, of course, they're just going to jump off from the moon, go straight to Mars and in the future more planets. So it makes sense to, do it on the moon first, right? Well, that's what I'm saying, Dan. I'm reading both of yours here. Well, that's what I'm saying. Just press forward, man. I have no doubt that you'll be able to make it because, from what I understand, you're a hardworking guy. Just push forward and say, listen, man, I'll make it up to you. Just give me a little bit of a, some leeway, and I think you'll be fine. I think you guys are just fine because, it's like me. It's like if you got the drive to do it, you're going to push forward no matter what because, I know your kids mean everything to you. It's just like me. And everybody here has kids and grandkids and everything else, so they, they're going to do everything they can for those kids. So just push forward, and I have no doubt that you'll end up in the green, so to speak. I think you'll be fine. John Sharp, he said, Mars spiders might bite. It's hard to tell. Steve Pelt, what's going on? I didn't even see you jump in there. New chaotic order. He said any creature or alien we find on a high gravity planet will be Superman strong. Well, I don't know. It's kind of like what was the name of that movie there? I'll think of it in a minute. But if we were to go to Mars, we might be extra strong, right? If you think about it, because less gravity, you'd be stronger there. You can pick up stuff that's much heavier. So yeah. I've seen that channel, John Sharp. You said Dust on, and that's the name of Dust. The channel on YouTube has Mars short films. Yeah, I've seen some of those. They're pretty good. They're pretty darn good, these short films. Well, you make a great point, Blue Flash. You said Mars is a dumb idea when the moon is there close by. I think what they're trying to do is two things. They're trying to cover both bases because I think they're trying to get to the moon, I think in 2024, I think it is, and maybe a bit later, depending on if they can get the crap together doing it. But they want to do that. They want to make a base there. Now, keep in mind, they want to go to Mars in what, 2030, 2034? So, build the base, go look at everything we need to look at now on Mars with our rovers and everything else, and by then we'll be all geared up. We're going to actually, have these bases there. And of course, everybody, all these astronauts will be like, basically ready to go. They'll then go there and everything will work out fine because they got to build these habitats and stuff like that on Mars with these 3D landers and stuff, or robots that they want to send first. So it gives them plenty of time to do both. So, the moon is definitely not out of the question. It's definitely going to happen, right? Let me do this. I forgot I didn't have the... I just made this a little bit smaller because we don't want to block out what's on there. James Cragen, thank you very much for your support, man. Much appreciated. Much love to you. So Chris Ma's vid this week. I am wondering, am I the only one that see all the structures in different shapes where you're pointing to them from 10 minutes onwards? Yeah, which reminds me, I'm glad you reminded me because I'm going to show you this real quick before we jump into the pan. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. You can bring this back up here. And again, thank you, James. Much appreciated. Bobby Pentland, good seeing you, man. And thank you very much, too, for your support. Much appreciated. When you guys see this, this is cool. I don't know if anybody's noticed this. Let's zoom into this. Now, I was showing you guys, this is the finished product here. Let's see. Right here. And this is where we pretty much left off at. Where we see those structures. Again, Bobby, thank you very much. Right here, I find it interesting because this, again, you can see this white piece underneath this blur. Do you see that now? I actually went like this. Look at it. It's perfectly like a half moon. It looks like it goes up like this, but then it looks like it goes like that. And they got this blur over it. You guys see that? I thought that was really interesting right there. So you can actually see something really crisp underneath that blurring right there. But that's not the only thing I've seen after the fact. I was like, oh man, check this out. This is neat. What do you guys think of this? What do you see right here? Not only does it look like we've got a giant doorway right here, but look at this wall. I don't know. I'm not sure if it does this. This has a slant here. And looks like it was intelligently made. Of course, I just botched it up, but you get the idea. And if this is the top of this, I'm going to use the term peninsula, because it looks like it drops off like this here. In other words, this is where all the water be flowing, or at least come up to here, who knows, right? And it's right on the water. But look at that. What do you guys think of that? That to me is cool. I didn't notice it until after the fact, and after I had done the video. But check this out. There's more stuff here. Once you burn away this blur on top, it almost looks like this piece is right here. Now, this could be nothing but garbage in the photo, and I totally get that. But this other piece here, to the left, just showed you, right here, I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger. It's still there, regardless of it. And you can see that, look at this. Oh my God, this is funny as heck. I know, showing you guys the, look at this. Perfect. Straight line. Oh no, they don't do anything to these photos. What gave you that idea? So I tried to burn through this stuff, and this is what I ended up with. So this wouldn't surprise me if this was part of something, even if it wasn't all of it. It would not surprise me if that was something else, and it's not an actual lake bed. There's actually something else there. Or this was something that was maybe in the middle of this river, maybe some kind of island or something like that, and it had something. I don't know. But interesting enough. And like I said, we got all of these what look like structures here, or foundations and walls. Like I said, if I seen these on any of these, and a satellite photo here from Earth, there's no way I would think that's, it's just rocks. That's all it is, just boulders, guys. Nothing there to see, right? Nothing there to see. I can get rid of my face here again, same with doing these. Right? I mean, when I look at that, I see what looks like walls. I see what looks like maybe foundations and whatever else it may be, right? Colleen Barnes, you said, I think we are already on the moon. Elon has said he doesn't need to go to the moon first. That makes me wonder if our politics, if there are politics involved. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I just find it hard to believe once you've gone there. And like I said, if there is something of value, and we've seen it in the photos where there clearly is, that they're taking off or getting off the moon, then why would they stop? What would be the point? Because if the areas that they showed had structures and crafts, and maybe they're just, derelict spacecraft or whatever the heck they are, they're just laying on the surface, okay, that doesn't mean it's the only area during the Apollo missions that they've ever been. Because remember, there is an LROC, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter camera, and it's orbiting constantly, taking these high-definition photos. And you can bet they're high-def, or at least some real decent clarity. So if that's true, then they know they're going to go to other parts. And how hard would it be to retrofit one of these old space shuttles or a new space shuttle to do exactly what it used to do? In other words, back in the 80s, went out into space, low orbit, we built the ISS. Okay, what would stop that thing from keep going to the moon? What would be it? All you need is an atmospheric condition for the astronauts, or they could just be in their own suits and just shoot straight to the moon. They got a cargo area and everything to do that. Simply land on the moon, get in a real flat area on the moon, and then just go ahead and, take off from thereafter. What would be the problem? And it'd be a whole lot easier to take off from the moon than it would be here on Earth. All they got to do is enough fuel to, hit it, just to get trajectory back here to Earth. And then, of course, they come right back into the atmosphere like they did when they were using, during the time they built the ISS. Why would that be so complicated? I don't think they ever stopped. All right, let me just go back here. This thing just jumped on me again. I love it when it does that. All right, let me go back down. See if I didn't miss anything here. James Dixon, you make a great point. You said, did anyone realize the government stated aliens exist during the coronavirus lockdown, and not many people paid attention to it? Well, yeah, because understand, pay attention to the left hand. Don't worry about what the right hand's doing. And that's what it comes down to. Yep, Noodles, you said Venus would be awesome, 35 miles above the surface. Yep, like we already discussed, we're talking about the microbial life in the atmosphere. And he said it'd be just like here on Earth, 35 miles up from the surface. Absolutely. So why couldn't they have like a sky city, things like that? Because like I said, people automatically assume, well, chances are, let me do this. Chances are, well, nobody will be able to breathe on that planet or whatever. It's too hot, or the atmosphere is this or this planet, and da-da-da-da. That doesn't mean anything. Like I said, you could build a dome and literally live in a dome, artificial atmosphere and everything else, and so you can breathe what you're supposed to. Why would it be a problem? See, guys, I mean, I see several things on this area alone, man. It's just on where they're landing this new Perseverance rover. Come on. There's a lot more here, too. I guarantee it. If we really dig into this, we can find more in here. But just this alone, these areas, even if we say the heck with this area here, it wouldn't matter The 3 here, again, when I see this, I see walls. I see what looks like foundations. I highly doubt if there's water next to this, it would have wore the ground like that. I find it hard to believe. And like I said, a lot of you guys said, maybe there's some kind of processing plant for the water. And, maybe if it was completely brine, maybe somehow they can change it over and just make it fresh water. Who knows? Who knows? Or it just happened to be structures by the river. And like I said, this I seen after the fact, but I thought was interesting. And like I said, this is the original photo. It's clearly there. You can see it. I just enhanced it to bring it out. And of course, we got these other things that are underneath this blur on here. Yeah, crazy stuff here. That's what it was, yes. Stefan, yep. The movie was John Carter. I mean, you remember him when he was on there? He's like bouncing all over the place, had superhuman strength and all kinds of stuff because your muscles are adapted to here on Earth. Now, if you're on a planet with lighter gravitational pull and stuff like that, well, you might find yourself you can run pretty fast or jump pretty high. So, yeah. Jerry Lane, I found people on Mars 2004. I designed Mars rover in 1987 as ghostwriter for Star Trek. Tell us more about that. Sounds interesting. Oh, Jerry, you also said people on Mars wear light clothes, no spacesuits, animals, likewise, no breathing devices. I believe the same thing. I've said that in the past. Now, if there was real thin atmosphere, meaning even oxygen level, it's not like we couldn't adapt. Like I said, we have people living in higher elevations, and they get along just fine. Like I said, I've read about, these villages that lived on the top of these mountains where the air was very thin, and they still lived to 120 years old. The elders were like 100 and plus. And they were gardening and everything else. So, I don't think it would be complicated to do that. Archetype, you said, wow, the ripples on the ground indicate massive flooding. Well, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering whether a lot of that took place and wiped a lot of that area out. Josh Jones, you said dome? I'm not sure if you're talking about this bigger one here, because somebody had said that in the comment section, saying this might have been a dome at one time. All right? What I find it interesting is, I don't know about you guys, maybe I'm just silly here, but when you see stuff like this, why are we seeing a pronounced line? Wouldn't this, if this was some kind of hill, mountain, butte, doesn't matter what it is, it would be nice and smooth right into the ground. It would come down the side of it and just be smooth, transition right into the flat part of that, wouldn't it? Or would it not? Look at this. Why would you have a line of that? And funny enough, I've just noticed this now. Look at this. I'll zoom in, because it'll probably break up on me. But right here, and I'll back out. Right here, it appears to have like a black circle and something around it. Almost like there's a giant stack or something right there. Like a chimney type thing. You guys see that? Right there. I'm going to back out just a hair bit. Doesn't look too grainy and crappy there. And put it in the middle of the screen. I can take that. You said big flood damage, Chris. Oh, yeah. It looks that way, right? James Cragen said Chris, Trump's administration is drafting Artemis Accords Pact for mining on the moon, drafted on the 5th May 2020. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised because they want to get this done. And And like I said, they're definitely going to go there. I just wonder, like I said, if they're doing this all along since the Apollo missions, if it's just going to make it public then, like, oh, we just now got to the moon, we're now just starting to set up structures, so on and so forth. What do you guys think about that? You think they're already up there, and you think they're just going to make it look like, oh, we just now got there, or are you going to say, what are you guys' opinion about that? James Dixon, you said that looks like the same thing they found in Scotland, and it was an old castle or settlement that was hundreds of years old, and you could only see it from the sky like that. Exactly. And, I see the same thing all the time. I've, watched some of these National Geographics and some of these other programs where they show these, ancient structures, maybe not so ancient, and all it is like a foundation or walls left to it. I found this too. I don't know if you guys have seen this because it's kind of blending really well. But right here, not sure what to make of that, but check that out. It's kind of like this square white piece, but it looks like it does this. Well, didn't make that very square, but you guys see that? It's kind of like it almost does this, starts to do this, like this, like if it went like that, but it doesn't quite show that. See that? Not sure what to make of that. And just to the right side of that, there's something else right there. I think these are structures, guys. That's what I think. You guys see that? Hey, Strauss, 1AV says former lakefront properties. It looks that way. And like I said, if we've seen those, if we've seen those on an area here on Earth, satellite picture, we would not say, well, these look like rocks. We would not say that. Some people can argue that point, but I wouldn't say that looks like rocks to me. There's no way that's rocks. Now, you can tell me, well, the land just happened to fall like that, so the rocks just happen to just fall just like those in squares and rectangles, and, come on. And like I said, I found that interesting, too. I'm starting to believe more and more that they built into these buttes and these hills and stuff, right? Almost looks like an entrance right there. Whoops. I hate when the mouse pad slips like that. Excuse me. You've got things like this here. These square pieces. But like I said, I'm looking at this a little closer. Look at this. Looks like there's something that goes like this. Almost like this white wall type thing. I'm not sure what to make of that kind of round piece there. And it looks like it slants this a little bit like this. That is pretty funky to me. Steve Pelly said the area at the right of this whole area looks like a bit of a geoglyph with a circle top crown looking upward. Back out a little bit. Well, like I said in the video too, I believe a lot of these areas were slightly above the sea level or river level, call it what you will, the water level. This to me, a reason why I like this one here is because of this. Again, it looks like it's high up on a piece of land right here. And it looks like I said, it comes down like this is a wall. Like there would have been water down here. And this thing was looking out towards an ocean or whatever. And this might be quite large, guys. We don't have any idea at all how big this thing may be. None. We can get an idea. I don't know if it said on the description, on the link I gave you guys, but I don't recall it saying like how big the swath of area was, right? Arts and Crafts, what's going on? I'm just seeing everybody saying hi to you and stuff like that. So, hello. Hope you're doing well. Clear Media said it could be raised on a mound with a moat originally. That could very well be. Or strategic area or some kind of... it could have been just something simple like a lakeside business. It could have been anything, right? It's hard to tell. Whatever these things are, it doesn't look natural. Raquel Gelstrom, you said nuclear blast started tsunamis. Well, it's either that or maybe a catastrophic event happened where Mars went into its own axis tilt and stuff like that, and then of course you get the tsunamis and stuff like that. Very good possibility. Whatever it may be, it was excuse me, it was cataclysmic. That's for sure. Thank you, Alien Tenno. Much appreciated. I just now seen this. It jumped on me, so maybe that's why I missed it. But I am convinced, you said, we have shuttle base on the moon. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Like I said, I wouldn't stop going if we could do that with no problem. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think... why would you stop? Especially if there's more to see, and of course when you were in the public's eye, you had to be careful. Well, we got to make it look good. It's a PR move. We're getting rocks and dust, which I believe that they did. But I think it was much deeper than that. It was a recon mission. It wasn't anything of the sort. James Cragen, thank you very much again for your support. You said, Chris, as you always said, they never stop going up, and I don't believe that they have. You go down here. James Cragen, thank you very much again for your support. You said, Chris, in the darker area around the crater part is full of round and square-shaped walls that have the same depth and size, etc. The moon ones does. Great vid. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just most of the time. Well, here's a good example. Let's do this. Okay, back to the normal photo. Haven't done anything to it. I can still see this stuff. I do not have to enhance this to see this. But it helps to enhance it. It brings out the lines better. And like I said, all of these other pieces that are around these other two will look like structures. And like I said, you can see this pretty darn clearly if you were to get the blur off of this, I can see this pretty darn well. This is pretty crisp. I think I might do this here. It looks like it comes down and goes like this here. I'm not sure what to make of that, but it's pretty clean as opposed to the blur that they try to put over it. See it? And they try to take a lot of this out, but you can see that pretty darn crisp. If I was to back out just a little bit, give it a little bit, I mean, it's not so grainy, but whatever these things are, that's not natural. Raquel, you said, looks like it would have been prime real estate once. Well, I mean, like I said before in the video, if it's just like here on Earth, how many people actually live on coast? Sea coast, ocean coast, how many people actually live there? Well, it'd be a perfect example, like you said. It's like prime area to live. Anthropo, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but anyway, he said, what area is this? This area is Jezero Crater. This is where the Perseverance rover is going to land next year. More precisely, it's supposed to be over here, pretty much in this area. Between these four craters. So it's supposed to make its way over to here, and it's supposed to check out basically where this water has come down from the mountains. And you can see it here. My thing is this. Now, you can see where there was definitely motion where this was water, right? First of all, it could be still there, and they're just blocking it and making it look like, oh, no, it was once, a riverbed or a lake bed or whatever it might have been. And let's say it is dried up. Okay, I get that. But they're saying millions upon millions of years. Now, the way they talk about there's massive windstorms on there. You don't think this would have been wiped and smoothed out by now, or at least close to it? With no water there at all? I don't know. What do you guys think? And like I said, the amount of, censoring they do on this is crazy. Look at this right here. You can literally see this in the dock. Check that out. These darkened areas right here. Look at the little shapes and stuff like that. Sitting right on the edge right here. Like I said, there's no mistake why they're landing these things here, man. I mean, they're not stupid. They're not going to come here, and like I said, they're not just going to throw a dot on a map and go, yeah, well, just land there today and find out. They're going there for a reason. And even if it's just simply to say, well, let's see if there's any life forms, which I believe they're trying to do that here too, and I believe that's legit. But there's more to it than that. And every country wants to go there now. For what for? If there's already a country there going, hey, we're going to look at to see if there's any, I don't care if it's fossilized microbial life, we'll find it. Do they just think we're just not smart enough to see it ourselves, or is there something up there that they really want to check out as well? I don't know. To me, it just makes more sense that they're going there for a reason, spending billions of dollars to go up there just to drill in the sand. No. There's more to it than that. What's going on, Cors? You said, yeah, as if they went there just with a bit of dust. Yeah, and I agree. There's more to it than that. And like I said, I don't believe that it's bogus. I don't believe the story's bogus that they're going up there to look for microbial life. Maybe they're looking for different microbes, right, that might have existed on there. Who knows? Or in the lakes or on the side of the lakes, whatever it might have been. And I don't believe that's bogus. I believe that there's much more to it. And they're using that as a front. Although it may be true, it's a real good mission. It's a real mission, but that's not the real reason why they're going there. And a lot of these photos prove exactly that. What's going on, Jack Lambert? He said, hey, people, made it. Chris, Renee, James C., and Claire. Hope you all had a great week. Missed last week myself. Don't forget, everyone hit the thumbs up button. That's right, guys. Hammer time. Slam it down. Let's see here. Jerry, you said right angles are built structures. Well, if you see like a 90-degree angle, that's not impossible to see in nature, right? We all know that. But when you see multiple ones like that, is it still nature? I don't know. I don't believe that it is. When I see that, I see, like I said, I've seen plenty of these satellite views of ancient sites here on Earth, and that's what they look like. Very, very similar to that. Now, if this was water coming down here, let's say this is erosion. How does erosion do that? I don't buy that for a moment right there, so I think I would rule that out. And then when you see these other things here, look at the way this thing, it looked like it went like this. It came down. It got deeper here. It almost looks like there's a dam right there. Look at this. Remember you guys are talking about that right there. And then it got blurred out right here. But what if that thing does this, the same thing on the other side as the other side does? Yeah. What are we looking at here? And then it looks like it kind of comes out really wide and then spills into a narrower area. Is this some kind of like we said, who was saying that? Like some kind of weird treatment plant or something like. Who knows? Who knows? But I just noticed that now. I didn't even notice that before. That this kind of looks like the dam. You can see it's right there. And then it comes like this. Looks like there's actually two halves of it. So if it did the same thing, hey, a giant mustache. No. But if you look at it, I mean, that just looks crazy, right? And it looks like there's a square right underneath this. You guys see that? Going just underneath it, just like this. I'm going to take this line off in a second. See that? Right there. Very, very light, but it's there. Check that out. I don't know. Strange indeed. Englishman and pipe smoker, you said, looks like structures in ancient Israel. I agree. I mean, well, like I said, anytime I've ever seen any kind of structures, either through war, ancient structures, whatever it may be, that's what they look like. They're squares. And most of them are square, buildings that we make. Some of them could be round, but most of the majority are what? Yeah. They're square or rectangular, whatever they may be. Yeah, Frank Miklos, you said maybe a hydro generator. Well, exactly, hydroelectric plant, whatever it may be. And then it looks like it comes out into here, into this one here. Maybe it's like a retaining pool type thing, and then it spills out into this one. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. But that's the way it looks to me. Could we all be wrong? Sure. But I have a hard time saying that's natural right there. Oh, Josh, we know. You must have hit the caps lock. I've done that before. I'm like, oh, you look at the message after. I can't believe I did that. Blue Flash, you said, wonder where we go when we die. Great question. Matt Patterson, you said, could have been a landslide where you were just at. Absolutely. I mean, we're thinking that there's a great flood, right? There's tsunamis and stuff like that. If the planet, did meet with some really catastrophic event, which it looks that way, and judging by the photos that we've seen, could very well be. What's going on, Mars Time? He said, hi, everyone. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Equalize, he said, shape, shadow, shine, silhouette, movement. All these things will show out if it's not natural. Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. Alien Tenno, you said, well, one thing we all agree on, not man-made, but Martian-made. Or unless it was us way back in the day. Who knows, right? I think they're just blowing smoke up our rear ends. What do you guys think? You think they're telling the truth as far as how long life did exist, or last time life did exist on this planet? Or do you think they're pretty much spot on? I don't know. Just me personally, just my opinion, I think they're full of it. I don't think they're saying, because it's almost like they're saying, it's been so long ago, so therefore, we're definitely not going to find any life on these planets. Well, how old, I should say, is the microbial life in Venus's, atmosphere? Has it just been there 10 years, 20 years, millions of years? Who knows? So, I don't know. What do you guys think about the time frame? Hey, Lee, I hope you're wrong, because that's not good. That doesn't sound good. So you get reincarnated to another body when you die. The bad aliens reincarnate you back to this prison body and planet or Mars. Well, I hope it's another planet. Some days you're just going, man, stop the planet. I want to get off. Wow, craziness. Anthropo exploding planet hypothesis, or EPH, is the only thing that explains these cataclysmic and the other effects on the solar system. Well, I mean, at one point they could have had some kind of large planet exploded, and of course debris went in every direction, and it might have hit Mars, Earth, and everything at the same time. It just didn't kill off the whole population. Like some planets it would, some it wouldn't. Who knows? But regardless of what happened, I don't think they're telling the time frame right. I think it was up to not too long ago. Because like I said, if these are in fact structural, and we're talking millions of years ago, I don't buy that. Because you would think even the weather that it has there, whether it's the wind itself has got wind erosion. It does have I don't know about this particular crater, but just like Gale Crater, it's got its own basically water cycle in there, and it's got wind, it's got water cycle, it's got all that. So if this one's the same way, and everything, because it's closer to the ground, it's got more oxygen and more of an atmosphere closer to the base of these craters and not outside the craters, then, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think there's definitely life here, and it wasn't all that long ago. Orion Benjamin, you said hundreds of thousands at the very least. Steve Pelly said within the last 3,000. Englishman Pipe Smoker, you said 5 million years. I'm thinking it's a lot more recent than that. Only because of due to what they claim about the weather, or at least the wind. And I'm thinking millions of years ago. Let me see if I can just think about that in my head. None of these walls would be here. None. It would be completely white, smooth ground. Nothing there to see. And it makes sense if this happened to, let's say this was one of the areas, and I'm trying to remember exactly where this was on the map. I'd have to look it up again. But, when you think about it, if it's kind of like a Gale Crater, right? Or the positions they showed where each of these landers and rovers were, or are, depending on which one you're looking at, they were in, like, just south of the Cydonia area. Well, that's where those big explosions were, the bigger one and the smaller one. And it just happened to be just south in the equatorial region. Imagine that. Why there? There had to have been a reason. There had to have been a reason that these guys were there, and it wasn't because, again, we just threw a dot at the picture and just see what we can just come up with. No, these guys said, oh, wait a minute. They must have known about this explosion, or they seen what the satellite photos look like and say, oh my God, there's total devastation in this area. Let's go have a look. And of course they made it, if they had to come up with some kind of vehicles to do that. So of course they had the flybys, they had the Viking orbiters and the landers. 1975, 1976, they definitely, as far as I'm concerned, found signs of microbial life back then. And scientists actually, some scientists actually say that is true. And of course others will argue with them. But if that's true, again, what are we looking for if we've already found life on this planet? Yeah. Well, Jerry, you said the wind is weak on Mars. Well, they claim it's 300 miles an hour, which is equivalent to about 60 miles an hour here on Earth. Okay, but just imagine totally battering all the time. Now, if they claim that the weather temperatures are extreme, like they say, well below zero, and of course it can get up to like 70 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit at the equatorial regions in the warmer months. Now, if that's true, you have a hell of a temperature swing. There's got to be wind constantly. To have these temperatures swinging like the way they are, cold front, it's basically like a cold front and a warm front, right? Constantly clashing. There's got to be some kind of moisture if there's any moisture in the sky at all, from the water being evaporated, because they do show like a cirrus clouds and stuff like that. And one of the scientists did in fact say on a video that there is a water cycle in Gale Crater. So if that's true, okay. So if you got this wind even at 60 miles an hour for millions of years, there's no way this stuff would be here. I don't believe that. That's just my personal opinion. Max K said, how can we know? We're buried. Our body, that is, the soul, well, no one's ever came back and told us. Exactly right. Exactly right. Leo Lee said 8,200 years ago there was a war on Mars by aliens. I mean, yeah, I mean it's weird to try to. I mean, I can see everybody coming up with different times, like 2,000. I'm sorry, 200,000 years, 1,000 years ago, and so on and so forth. And Jerry, which one did you design? Which rovers did you design? Because I just seen it just now. You said I designed rovers in 1987. Elaine Millard, I want the truth, fed up with lies. I have never given anyone permission to lie to me or cover up anything that is ours, moons, Mars, and solar systems, history, and what was there. Totally agree. But the government's going to jerk you around anyway. If you're on a need-to-know basis, they're not going to tell you squat. You know that. And it's sad that it's like that, especially when they're pretty much taking the money out from under us. So, yeah. Corey, you said it would take an alien invasion for the world to come together, and I totally agree. Just like was it Reagan that said that? Yeah, I totally agree. Michael Mertes, he said Hiroshima area photos, Hiroshima, depending how you want to pronounce that, aerial photographs. It's what it looks like to me. It looks like something's been devastated. Something's wiped the buildings right off of basically, well, the walls are still there, at least the foundation. Pretty much wiped them right off where they were at. Jack Lambert, you said there may be ruins that are many, many thousands of years old, but many structures I'm seeing do not look that old. Some do, some don't. Also, the covert black and military industries and complex may already be there. Totally get it, yeah. Jerry, you said desert dry is cold as hell at night. Exactly. But like I said, I think there's a lot more atmosphere than they're claiming. So you're right about that, and I totally agree with you. But what if they're lying to us, and there's reasons to believe that? If they are lying to us, then maybe it doesn't have the temperature swings they claim. Maybe it gets very cold at night, but not quite that. I heard anything from it could be 70, below zero Fahrenheit, of course, 120 down to 129. I don't know. Just crazy numbers. And then, of course, it goes up to 70 to 100 depending on the day. And, of course, they're, again, at the equatorial region during the summer months. So it makes sense to me. That'd be a huge temperature swing, and I'm sure it even gets rain, and it gets some kind of, because you're getting evaporation. They say I forget what it is, how much there is per 3 meters or a meter. I forget what it was. There's a certain amount of water there. So if it gets up that hot, it's going to evaporate it through the sand. And, of course, we know how a cloud's made. You get a vapor cloud up there, and, of course, it gets so heavy that it can't handle anymore, and then it comes back down as precipitation. So, it would not surprise me if it does actually have that kind of atmosphere, and there's more to it than they're saying. I think there's at least organics there. What do you think? What's your personal opinion? Of course, it's a great question. You said, why don't they ever say we are going to Mars to look for structures? Yeah, I think it's the implications. But then, many of you said, it's like, well, then they have to admit that they were wrong. All right? They've been lying all this time. And like I said, there's an easy way out of that. I don't know why they don't just go, we had, We never seen anything until we came around this bend and found this what looks like a structure there. But if they do that, other countries that want to get there suddenly now are going to find their way there, and they're going to be like, oh, we want a piece of that action. You know what I mean? Englishman Pipe Smoke, he said, I read somewhere that in the late 1940s, the government knew that there might have been life on Mars years ago. Well, yeah, and like I said, in 1941, they claimed that's when they seen them two atmospheric explosions or nuclear explosions, and there's still evidence today, judging by, I think it was the Xenon 129, on the planet. So there's still proof of that because I don't know if it was the Maven spacecraft or the MRO, but again, they went into the atmosphere, in the lower atmosphere, and then found the sensors picked this stuff up, and I believe the actual Curiosity rover did as well. So it's still there. How much of it? I don't know, but it was enough to register. It was enough to see it. So, and then of course, if that's true, did life end at that point? Now, most people are saying millions and thousands of years ago, but did it end at that point? Think about it. Radiation would start to die off, even though we can still see it, or sense it, rather. We have structures that are still standing, or at least bases of them. It would make more sense to me. How many years is that now? Let's just say, let's stretch it to 80 years, 75 years. Okay. And yet, they still have a water cycle. They still have all that is going on. Keep in mind, there wasn't too many people looking at Mars back then. Now, of course, people had telescopes and all that. Of course, I think they had them back in the 1600s, I think. But as far as optics, there's no way they would have seen anything like that take place. And they wouldn't see anything on that planet. But as we got more and more, I think it was Schiaparelli, all of these guys that were, looking through telescopes and everything else back in the 1800s, so on and so forth. I mean, come on. At some point, the optics got good enough to see decent, details on Mars. But now, even then, you still couldn't do it with your own telescope, so you'd have to rely on something at an actual what do you call it, observatory, right? All right, Equalizer, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. You said, must go. Catch you all later. Great stream tonight. Well, thanks for being here, and have yourself a great weekend there, right? I agree with you, Dennis Johnson. You said, is there a life? Well, there is life forms on Earth that we are just discovering that had no idea it was possible for them to live in such an environment. Yeah, we got extremophiles, and we've talked about this many times here, where they live in ultimate cold areas, very hot areas in the oceans next to these volcanic vents. And we got things that are living in the oceans in Antarctica, well at the bottom of these oceans. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't say there can't be life anywhere. And for some reason they keep saying, well, we might find life someday, outside our solar system. Stop. They want you to believe right off the bat there can never be life here. But yet, in our own solar system, we are life. And just the fact that we are here proves there could be other life somewhere else. Now, some people would disagree with that, but I don't. All right, let's get rid of this. All right. Jerry said military cover-up. Yep, I believe so. Especially when we definitely have proof that the DOD is actually linked with NASA. So you can bet they say what goes and what does not. And you can look the stuff up. They're definitely involved with them. There's no doubt about it. I've checked out that myself. So yeah. Noel Rivera, you said, why would there be intelligent life out there if the Bible does not mention it, other than the angels? Are we looking for angels? No, I mean, we can get into a lot of that here, as far as, because there's some of the speculation and some's not, right? But to me, it's like if you want to use the term angels, because think about it, if they came out of the sky, because they did come down from the heavens, and they came down, what were they referring to? Were they referring to just simple, these bigger humans with just wings? Or did they just say that they had a gift of flight and they were in something else? Because even the book of Ezekiel talks about how it was basically the first abduction, and he was brought up into a craft where he looked down into the firmament, from the firmament. And he talks about this, and you can look this up yourself. So, and he had to learn the language. They taught him language, agriculture, all kinds of stuff. And he even learned their names, each of them, and what their job was on that spacecraft. And the way he put it was, he was looking down on Earth looking down from the firmament down onto Earth. So if you think about this a minute, you go, wait a minute. So if that was the first event that happened, and if you look at every other religion on the planet, every one of them says our gods came down from the heavens, and they taught us things. Who are they referring to? The Egypts actually claimed that, we built the pyramids with the help of the overseers. So, and of course, they called them other names too, but they said from the overseers. So, who are they referring to? That's the big question. Jack Lambert, you said conspiracy theorist, a term invented by the CIA, I believe. The organizations hiding proof and suppressing advanced tech and disclosure are very good at doing it. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. All right, let's see if we can find anything unusual. I didn't really have a look at this thing. I don't even know, to be truthful with you guys. All we can do is have a quick look and see what we can find, right? Sometimes nothing more than a rock. And then other times, a little interesting. I don't like the way they're doing this new texture. It's literally like crap. Look at this. It's like there's a computer doing this now. It's not even people doing it. So what it does is it finds anything that could be possibly, maybe they program it to say, listen, anything that has anything that's looks technologically advanced or something that doesn't look natural, maybe they put in parameters where this thing can look it up, and they find out, and they tell it to just go and cover anything up they see in the photo. I don't know. Check this out. This rock here in the middle. Looks like there's a few parts on there, something there. What do you guys think of that? Hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, what do you think that is? Even the one over here on the right. Check that out. What are we looking at right there? I like the intricate parts. It almost looks like the letter P right here, but it has these pieces like branching off from it. You guys see that? Right here. Interesting. Mystic Skywatcher. Bible has been rewritten to fit paradigm. Enoch, I follow. Exactly, the book of Enoch, who also claims that. Remember, there's a wheel in a wheel, and stuff like that. So, you got these people talking about basically this spacecraft. They just didn't know how to convey that. They did their best to, and they wrote about it because it was of very great importance. They're not going to just make drawings and do all kinds of crap just to, because it had nothing better to do. It had to be something of very much importance for them to want to do that, right? Look at the way this white rock is right here. Got this nice straight line. It kind of slants down and it goes over here. You're going to see that other line very, very faint. Let me move this over here a little bit more. Check that out, right there. Straight across, boom. Nice angle, comes down straight down. Has what looks like a round piece right there at the very left tip of it. And look at the way that rock is pretty much, look at the way that thing looks. What do you guys think of that? Building block, something else? I don't know. Yeah, Arts and Crafts. He said, I fully agree, Chris. How else would we depict humanoids that could fly? Again, let's put ourselves, let's rewind, and let's go down. Let's say we were all part of the Egyptian times or the Mayans or whatever it may be, right? I always say to people, let's suppose you were alive in Egypt and you were there. But you happen to be walking on the outskirts of it. Of course, it'd be pretty bad because most of them were desert. But if you were out there and something come out of the sky and it flew out of the sky, and it wasn't a bird, and it landed somewhat in front of you, would you not think that they're gods? Wait a minute, they have the power of flight. You would be terrified. You'd be absolutely terrified, and you'd probably drop down your knees and bow to them and everything else. That's just the way people are. And I think they would do it even today. I don't think they'd bow, but they'd probably be crapping their pants and probably want to run off. And there'd be a lot of curious people who'd want to stay and see what's going on, right? So, me personally, nah. If I was back there in the day, most people would just drop to their knees and just, automatically, think they're gods. And it would make absolute sense. Colleen Barnes, you said, yes, whoever asked an angel question, well, read the book of Enoch. It is all there in black and white. Look deeper. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he claims that, again, a lot of these books, they actually say, I think they're literally hiding our origins. It's been rewritten, I don't know how many times, and there's so many things left out of it. Yeah, you got to be really cautious. Really cautious. Yeah, Arts and Crafts, you must be talking about the India, the ancient writings in the Mahabharata, where they've talked about, there's great cities in the sky, fighting with each other, and their weapons were as bright as the sun, or brighter than the sun. And these things were huge. Now, were they, like I said before, were they like sci-fi writers back then, thousands of years ago? Or did they write about what they've actually seen? I believe it's the latter. I think that they've seen something and it was very important, something they needed to write. It was just something that, it just doesn't happen every day. So you're going to write about it. Look at this thing here. Well, it looks like, look at these little pieces that are sticking out of this thing. Look at this. What do you guys suppose that is? Almost looks like a vertebrae here. Look at it. I just noticed this here on the very edge of it, right there. These pieces coming out of it. But there's some smaller pieces in it. You guys see that? I'll put this right in the middle of the screen right there. What do you guys think of that? Alien Tenno, you're right. Book of Thoth is awesome as well. That's what Billy Carson, he can tell you everything you need to know about that. That's why I'm trying to get him back on here as well. In fact, the 11th is coming up. I'll be meeting him. He'll be flying up here. And like I said, we're going to be getting together. Like I said, we're going to be getting together for, I'm going to be doing my part about the Black Knight satellite. So we're going to be doing that. And, hopefully maybe we'll be able to make a little extra video while he's up here. We'll have to see what happens. Or we'll have him on live, one of the two, right? So, yeah, it'd be interesting to do. Be awesome. As usual. Billy's a good guy. He's down to earth. I mean, couldn't be more down to earth if you wanted him to be. So, Yeah, you're welcome, Autocrat. She said, thank you, Chris. I didn't know the name, but I knew someone who know what I'm talking about. Thanks for the replies. Oh, no problem. Like I said, I mean, I've done a lot of research about this stuff myself, talking about Sanskrit and everything else. Again, I love the way these people, when they talk about, I wish I could just read these things firsthand myself because, and of course they'd have to have a translator, of course, but that's got to be interesting. If all of this stuff took place back in the day, again, thousands of years ago, you got to ask yourself one question: where did they all go? And were they just here? And we just happened to be a stopping pot. Maybe somebody had come along. Let's say there was two alien races were fighting, just for craps and giggles, right? And they were flying through space, and they just happened to stop in Earth's atmosphere and just duke it out right in the middle of this, right in our skies, and then off they went. Who knows? And they didn't care about the people that were there because I'm trying to remember if it was India as well, where it was, I think it was, what do they call that word? Petrification, where the sand, there's a lot of areas here on Earth that the sand has been melted because of high heat, like weaponry, nuclear weapons. So how did this happen? Did we have wars back thousands of years ago that were also nuclear, atomic, whatever it may be? Great questions. And so it makes you question where we were back days thousands of years ago. So you got to ask these questions. You just can't automatically go, I'll just listen to whatever the mainstream says. No, if you're not sure if anybody's telling the truth, look this stuff up yourself. You will find the truth, but you got to make sure it's reliable. Where people are, I don't know why this thing's, I don't know if this thing's locking up on me or what. You guys hear me all right? Because it looks like on this recording software, it looks like it stops every now and then, like the audio itself. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. Maybe it's just me. But, again, it makes you wonder where our true past is or what it is really like, right? I find that interesting. I love that. H. Doss 1AV said ancient writing was based on direct observation as the daily struggle of life precluded well-developed leisure activities. Like writing, there are exceptions. Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, they didn't do this for no reason. You know what I mean? They absolutely knew. They saw this episode or seen this going on, and they're going, "Oh my God, it's absolutely imperative to either, like, if the civilization made petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, just drawings on rocks, whatever it might have been. You guys see that on the Ancient Aliens and stuff like that, where there's drawings of what look like bulbous head aliens and all this other crap. Was it just bogus or was it the real deal? I think it was the real deal. And the real reason why I say that is because of a lot of the ancient civilizations claim this. Like when you go back to Lord Bacall over in the Mayans, where it looks like he's sitting in some kind of seat or a little rocket, and it shows flames at the bottom. So, again, I find this very interesting that we're just starting to learn our past. Now, most people would say, I think it's crap. I don't think that's real at all. You got to ask yourself, man, why would they write about it? Why would they talk about it? If they've never seen a spacecraft, see, we're desensitized to it, right? We always see these shows like Independence Day and stuff like that, whether they were good or bad aliens. The movie Contact, where those aliens were friendly but were really cautious, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, if we've seen it today, we go, oh, wow, UFO, that's cool. I finally got to see one. Back then, people probably crap themselves. And like I said, they would probably bow in a New York second going, oh, my God, you're our gods and everything else. And they'd be totally blown away. So they're going to write about it. But how do they know there was UFOs back then? We could do it because we've seen it and heard so much about it. Back then, they didn't have anything to go on until they actually seen one. So it makes sense, right? All right. Back out of this here. What else we got here? That's a nice rock. Looks like something took a bite out of it. What is this here? Looks like something coming right out of this rock. Looks like some kind of pipe or cable or something right there. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the screen. Almost looks like something. Does that look like a pipe to you guys, or just something different? What are you guys seeing right here? Right there. I'll move the cursor. What do you guys think that is? James Cragen, you said, Chris, the man was involved in the first nuclear bomb. Oppenheimer, I think was his name, was convinced that Earth experienced nuclear energy in the past. Watched a program about it a while ago. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are claiming that they're seeing, like I said, this petrification, this melted sand. So basically, when sand's melted, it's glass. That's what your windows are made out of in your car and your house and everything else. So, yeah, absolutely. So they're seeing this shiny areas and stuff like that. And I think that's what China found. Remember they said, they found this kind of substance on the moon. It was like very, very shiny. And it makes sense because in the background, I saw what looked like some kind of structures or something. Was it something that happened at that area? Maybe something was nuclear or something like that. And they were seeing like shiny sand, meaning in glass form. Was that the case? I don't know. Mimi, rock is my favorite food. A bit hard to chew. Yeah, I might knock out a tooth or two, but I think you'd be all right. Blue Flash, you said, read recently, scientists discovered asteroids rich in gold and other metals. And the next big thing in space is going to be asteroid mining, and Elon Musk is involved too. I think that'll be a little difficult to do. What do you guys think? Think about that. Even if you could jump on board one of them things, it would have to be some kind of rock that's slow moving. I mean, think about it. Some of these things are tearing through the solar system at 25 to 30,000 miles per hour. First of all, you'd have to land on it, and it had to be some kind of probe that would dig. Like they're trying to, I think it was Japan or China that just did that, or going to do that, where it literally is going to that asteroid, and it's literally getting a sample and flying back. Now it wasn't China. I think it was ESA, that was doing that, and they were grabbing a piece of that rock and coming back. Now, to sit on the rock and try to do that, okay, let's say it keeps flying and it flies out of the solar system. How do you get that back? How do you get the precious metals? I mean, you literally have to dig it like really quick and then get off the rock and then send it back. I don't know how they could do that. Of course, you said, I think it's something we can't even guess with the best of imagination. I agree. See, like I said, we automatically assume we know what's going on, but that doesn't mean that we do, right? Like I said, you can talk about life on other planets, intelligent life, and people go, there's no way. Well, not that we can probably live on certain planets. That doesn't mean other beings can't, or other just microbial life could. It doesn't have to be intelligent life, right? That's interesting right here. Look at this right here. These gray areas here. I love the way that 90-degree angle has that darker, I'm going to call it a rock, right there. And then it's gray around that, like they were fitted together. See that? And what's all of these pieces here, right here, to the right of it? It looks like the little skinny pieces running off in different directions, almost like little roots from a branch or tree. But it looks like it could be anything because it's above ground. That could be like a frame of something. You guys see all that right there? What is that? What's going on right there? All right, Torkler, good seeing you in there. You said, guys, girls, have to go. See you later. Have yourself a good weekend. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Itch. Elaine Millard, you said on TV screen, looks like a pottery vase with narrow neck and wider rim and something whitish, long, metal-like, long, falling out, propped against, I'm sorry, as can't be water pouring out, LOL. Well, I mean, like I said, a lot of these things are rocks and then things not so much. It at least makes you question it, right? I can see these two pieces right here. Not sure what those are. You can see something that looks like it goes up like this here. And it goes back around. Right there. And you get these two skinny pieces right here. Like a tannish and then it goes kind of brown. Makes you wonder what these skinny pieces could be. Because it can't possibly be plant life. There's no life on there. It has been millions of years ago. So it can't possibly be that. As NASA claims. So it can't be plant life. It can only be one thing. And if it's intelligently made, and that's a big if it's intelligently made, then wouldn't that be eroded and gone by now? If it was millions of years ago. Let's assume that there was no life there a million years ago, up to a million years ago. There was no life at all. Okay, well, then where the hell are these things coming from? And if there was life back then why is this stuff still around? If it would be eroded, whatever, at some point it would be gone, right? Look at this, like a half or quarter arch. Look at that. What do you suppose does that? You know that? Pretty interesting. What's going on, Steve? Steve Wagner, you said, hi, Chris. Great to see you. Well, good to see you in there, Steven. Yeah, it's a very good possibility, Mimi. You said they gave us knowledge, but we used it to kill each other. So they took the knowledge from us again. Well, I mean, yeah, can you imagine them going, okay, we think they're ready. Why don't we go ahead and give them a little technology, a little something, and, help them along. And then what do they do? What do? They do something stupid with it. So, yeah, I mean, or they thought about it and said, well, we're just going to only do so much. We'll give them a little something at a time, see how they work with it, and then we'll go from there, right? What's going on there, George Mayer? Good to see you in there. He said, hi, Chris, and all again, better late than never. Absolutely. Good to see you in there, George. Renee Vaughn, you said, very nice hangout, Chris. A good bunch of people. Nice. Have also seen a few new ones. Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to have these people on board. Here's the thing. It's good to have people in there, because many of you guys have said, listen, I'm glad we have these these times where we can sit there and talk and everything else because, it's like-minded people. So nobody's really scoffed at, right? And it's just like you're just laughing and talking amongst each other. And because you can't talk about it with other people that you know because they look at you like you got 5 heads. And it's not that you're crazy. It's just that some people don't think outside the box. And they sure and heck don't think about anything else but what's going on in their TV set. And that's it. Now, it's okay to watch TV, of course, but you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like I said before, it's like bed, get up, eat breakfast, go to work, come home, watch your sitcoms or whatever you watch, throw down some food down your neck, go to sleep, repeat the next day. Well, I like to do a little bit more than that. I don't mind doing the everyday life thing. I love it. Got to have some relaxed time, of course. And then, okay, then you want to just think outside the box. You don't want to just keep your brain just locked up. I mean, you want to be able to expand your mind. Although I show you this stuff, it's up to you guys to say, well, I'm not sure I believe that, so let me go ahead and look this stuff up myself. It's I do these videos to be thought-provoking, right? And that's what it's all about. To make you say, well, I'm going to look into that. And then it's up to you to make your own decisions, come to your own conclusions, whether you think, well, that's bogus. Oh, wow, I kind of agree with that. That makes sense to me. Frank Miklos, you said, looks like a rusted iron fence. I kind of agree. Whatever that thing is, it's kind of crazy looking, right? It just happened to be hanging off this rock. And here we go with the water, like I was telling you guys. See the dampness coming off here? Look at that. And it looks like it's been disturbed, some of the sand. See how like it's kind of like got these ripples in it? Like it kind of fell down. Like it kind of come down a little bit. And if we look up on, let's see if we can find this. Right here, there's more of these the water coming down. You see the dark areas coming down? All right. And it seemed to me there was another. Oh, I just noticed this. What is this right here? Looks like another arch here. This computer's doing something here. It's definitely taxing the hell out of this thing. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but right there. What is that right there? You can just see the edge of this thing. It's got a different color. See it right there? And then it's completely been crapped over. And there's something inside there. Look at this, guys. Something right there. And it has a split right in the middle of it. Looks like it's something, like you're seeing something that's round on its side, meaning picture a coffee cup and sit it there. You can see the side of it, and it's round right inside this area, just under the lip of this piece. See that? Put it right there in the middle of the screen. I didn't even see it. Was it, who said it? Mimi. I think it was Mimi. Yeah, it was Mimi. You said, is there a tiny person behind that stone? I didn't see it, and so I couldn't tell you. Because I think you asked, am I crazy? Probably not, but here's the thing, too. You got to be careful, because you don't know if some of these things that are in the ground could be almost like, kind of like branched off, and it looks like arms and legs, and maybe it's not a person at all. Maybe it is. I know one person, that's all she sees is just people. Now, do I think she's crazy? No. But some things I see more mechanical than I see, basically alive. I see things that are more, like I said, of mechanical nature. Let me see if I can find this other. I don't know if I can find it again. See, over here it looks completely dried out. Right here. But look at this right here. Look at it, like a lot of this is caved in. See this? That's what it looks like. This kind of, it looks like a flat wall, kind of right there. Like I said, I believe this is like an AI. It's like, it's literally, it's got a weird texture to this stuff now, and I don't like it because it's made to just go over stuff and just hide stuff. I don't like it at all, and I think it's the computer doing it now as opposed to people in a CGI. This looks like stairs going up the side of this. See this? Now, it may not. Just maybe just the way the rocks are in this side of this hill. Check that out. Let me see what we got here. Nothing there you can make out. Just weird looking rock. Interesting rock. Looks like a letter P again. Tilt your head to the right there. Going across, comes back down, right there. But it's actually designed, because now I'm looking right here, this thing goes down and goes over to here. See that? Look at the way that thing's shaped right there. Straight line, 90-degree angle, goes back to the back of this gray rock. Look at the way that thing's, like I said, some things, you go, okay, that's a rock. I have no problem with that. And then there's some parts you go, man, there's something wrong there. It makes you question whatever you're seeing, right? Architect net? Yep. Human race, get off your knees. See what's before your eyes and stop believing in fairy tales. Mimi, you said the Martian designers like numbers and letters. Well, it may be just when we're pulling this apart, it kind of looks that way. It's just letters. But like I said, I was looking at this here, straight line, and it came down. It looked like a P. But like I said, it's not. It's got like a slit there, but it goes like this. 90-degree angle goes towards the back. You see that straight line goes to the back right there? So this thing is thick. It's not just a one line coming up and it's just shaped like a P. It's actually thick right here. And it goes like this. It's got a 90-degree angle. Look at this. Looks like they kind of dressed this up. It looks like a little white pipe type thing right there. See that? It's got a hole at the bottom of it right here. But it looks like they kind of went over this. You can see it has a blur to it. Right here. It's white. You can see it right here at the bottom, and it has that black hole, but then it's like like a blur going over it. See that? Of course, the thing's not exactly clear anyway, but you get the idea. And no, definitely wasn't you, Autocraft. So somebody else that does a lot of posting on Facebook does fantastic work. And, there's several people that are doing it. But some of the things, like I said, when she sees like a person, I see more mechanical. Maybe just the way our brains are hardwired or something you've done in your life. Like I was a tool setter for 13 years. And that's pretty much all I did, setting up machines. So maybe this is the reason why I'm more hard set to see like mechanical than I am people. And some people may say, listen, maybe your profession was looking after people. Maybe that's what you did, right? And that's all you see is people. That's a very good possibility. Some people see everything. I mean, they see people, they see mechanical things, they see it all. So I guess it's just the way our brains are wired, right? What do we got here? Nope. I find this interesting here because look at this. Nice perfect slot in there. Now, I'm not saying nature can't do that because when you got stones that break apart, sometimes you can get this real clean break, right? But, I mean, look at the... You can definitely tell this is a CGI. Look at this. Look at this crap. Come on. Just the texture alone tells you it's fake. It's being put over something. You can see that. You actually see the line comes over. See that? And drops down below here. It's almost like it's more than just a rock. There's something else here. You notice how this is up here, this tan? Void of any kind of detail. And line just happens to go up and above right here on the top of it. And comes back down. What's the chance of that? Break right there, but then all of a sudden it goes straight line and it goes up this way too. I don't know. Like I said, it's things that are questionable. It may not be 100%, oh, well, that's definitely proof or evidence, but when you look at some of these things, you can't help but to go, okay, but that's questionable, Like that nice round little circle right there, or half or 3/4 circle right there. Got this nice block that fits into this other block behind it. Right there. Something here. Look at the way these things... come on. Like I said, I see rocks all the time. I don't see anything like this ever. Ever. There you go, Mimi. Pac-Man. Pac-Man fever. You can almost see like pieces in here. Like this has got like almost a square end to it right here. But again, it's just manipulation. And I've said this before. People because you'll get these people that come in like they're really doubting, right? It's like, oh, they wouldn't do that to this. You're just seeing rocks. Okay, if that's what you believe, that's fine. But here's my question, and I've said this before. Why are they obfuscating or hiding or blurring any photo that is supposed to be raw coming straight from Mars? Answer that question, and they can't. Oh, and then someone, of course, will say they're not obfuscated. Well, you can clearly see it. It's proof right there. Now, that almost looks like a face. See the mouth right here? Got the nose, the eye. Now, I'm not sure how I'm seeing that right, but that's kind of weird looking. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things in here, guys. Yeah, I find this hard to believe this is just simple rock too. You can almost see like there's a separation here. Like a box, like an opening right here. And then you go to all of this crap just happens to be right here. Look at that. Same thing over this side. Like got this opening right there. And then all of a sudden, I'm wondering if they're just putting this stuff in here. Let's suppose this was empty. In other words, there's nothing in this. Because you can see like a separation. And it almost looks like a ceiling or something right here. It looks like it's kind of bowed down over here. And the same thing applies to the one on the left. What's going on there? That's, these things just happen to be jammed in. Look at that, like a square box, complete square. Look at this right here. Speaking of squares and stuff like that, look at this. Some pieces actually coming off this white block. See that? Not sure that's a block. It might be obfuscated to make it look like a block. They look at it this way. If you looked at that and you go, wow, it's a perfect, let's say it was perfectly square box laying right on the ground. They'd rather have you question that than to leave it unmanipulated and it's actually showing something of alien technology or some kind of life on that planet. So they'd rather have you go, oh, wow, look, a perfectly made cube. They'd rather see you, see that. They don't care. It means nothing to them. I mean, if you were NASA and you were trying to hide everything, would you want people to see an actual piece that's intelligently made or a rock that's questionable and you're kind of like, oh, wow, it's a cube. That's kind of neat. Well, I think we all know the answer to that. HDOS1AV says storage areas, records? Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah. Paul Salerno, you said hangar doors? Could very well be. James Cragen, thank you very much again for your support, man. He said it's time for the cloth for the CGI boys' glasses. Well, yeah, it's almost like I said, it's some of the stuff. I believe a lot of this is being, done by computer now to save on humans actually doing this. This is the reason why the texture changed so much. And I showed you guys a video where it looks like the old manipulation and then this new kind of weird, I don't know if I want to call it fuzzy or whatever it is, kind of, edges and everything. Again, if they showed something, with fuzzy edges, you can't really make out any good, really clean details, right? Look at this weird thing right here. Put it smack dab in the middle of the screen. Look at this. Look at the shape of that thing cut out in this so-called rock. What is that? Comes up, goes across, and then comes back down. That's just odd stuff. I mean, look at this. This is crap. I mean, it's complete crap. This makes me wonder, too. Look at the way the ground is right here, right? I'm wondering if a lot of this stuff here... I just noticed this, too. What is this? This weird thing right here in the ground. These pieces in the ground. Look at the way that has this nice arch shape right there. And these little pieces, one on this side, comes down, looks like a leg there, and it goes around. What are we looking at these pieces? But the ground over here, I find it pretty interesting because... Look at this right here. Like it's open, like it's slotted. It makes you wonder, again, if some of these buttes are not being used as structures. Again, with the radiation, it's perfect insulation with the dirt. It makes absolute... And it's like a camouflage. Like I said, I thought about this, and I'm saying, what if they thought building a separate structure, like your home, was stupid? What's going to be more stronger, built into a hillside or a butte or a house during a massive storm? Well, you're already living in something that's natural. Chances are wind is not going to move it. So, or they just thought it was dumb to go out and get other stuff when you could just burrow into a mountain and, it could be high tech, but it's inside a mountain. How do we know that's not the case? And they don't build anything like us. Because when I see this, it almost looks like a skin on top of this, and part of it is broken apart. And this could be an actual structure, although they made it look like a butte. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that idea? Do you think that's bogus? Do you think it's a possibility? What do you think? Look at this piece right here. Look at these. The little detail in these. I see. Oh, wow. Look at that. If you guys look really carefully, can you guys see this right here? I'm going to just follow along. I know this cursor is a little smaller. If you can see the size of this cursor on here, it's like the size of a silver dollar on my 27-inch high-definition screen. But when you go through the little, when you go through the recording software, it's a lot smaller. But this is the reason why I put the color circular on it. But anyway, look carefully. Let's see if I can zoom in a little further. Do you guys see the square? Right? Look at the square. There's 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You guys see that? Let me just back up just a little bit, clear it up a little bit. And there's something here on top of this as well. Check this stuff out. There's an actual square right there with 4 circles inside it. This is natural? Come on. What do you guys think of that? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to see stuff like that. And the guys are on the smaller ones. Look at this. Again. Square. 1, 2, 3, 4 little round pieces. Some other little pieces on top. What do you guys make of that? Pretty much, Mimi, yeah. Or like a Lego stone. Yeah, it kind of looks that way, right? Cameron, you taking off? Well, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. You have yourself a good night there, right? And a good weekend. Glad to have you in there. But guys, look at this. I see that and I question. We can call anything in this around here rocks, but why the way this is done? Makes no sense. Simply makes no sense. That to me is just, it cannot be done by nature. There's no way that can be done by nature. Look at this down here. Comes up, goes back down. Almost looks like a little cave type opening. See that? Kind of goes up like this, arched over, comes back down, and then it kind of bends off to the right. There's like 2 pieces of that doing that. What do you guys think that is? Next to this other Lego block. What do you guys think of that? That's crazy. Like I said, see how that looks like the skin of this is like opened up? It's almost like they dressed this up to look like a butte, or it is an actual butte and it's being built into. I don't know. Look at these right here. What do you guys make of that? Exactly, Mimi. Yep. Looks like a little archway. What is this? That's a nice smooth edge to this piece here. Raquel, yeah, it's a doghouse. I mean, we can kind of like, in a sense, we're like poking fun, but on the other side of the token, it kind of looked that way, right? It looked like, and somebody else said someone's home entrance. Bobby, you said that? We don't know. I mean, we're just taking guesses. It's pure speculation. We all know that, right? But to me, these things are questionable, and people need to start questioning this stuff. There's that piece there again in the middle. It has that little kind of weird cutout right there. Strange stuff. You bounce way over here for a minute. Look at this. Look at the texture of this. Oh my God. That's crazy how they're doing. Look. There's some real doubters on there, and of course they can be real crapheads about it, and I'm trying to be nice about it. They'll come onto the channel and go, oh man, it just rocks. Okay. You're going to tell me that looks natural to you? You haven't been outside before. You haven't been outside. No way, no how does that look like it's natural. Look at all these, it looks like parts and stuff inside this piece. Look at this. Now is it? Pure speculation. But I'm seeing like a bunch of tiny little details. I mean, yeah. There you go, Alien. You said, forget about the movie Weekend at Bernie's. I want Weekend at Mars. That might work. Clay said, yeah, definitely looks like entrances. Raquel, you said, yeah, there's heaps to look at here. Yeah, and you guys, of course, you get the link as soon as this thing becomes live. Well, not live, but it gets on, it's processed and put on YouTube channel. Just crazy things, man. again, if you just take a quick look at these things and just kind of bounce over it, you're not going to see anything. Take your time. Analyze these really carefully. Like I was ready to jump over that little area where I showed that square, and it showed those 4 dots. Clearly, that's not natural. To me, that's not natural. I can tell you that. You said, whoa, I'm sleepy now and need to go to bed. 1:15 a.m. General Mountain Time for me. A great night chatting with everyone. Much appreciated for your time on this, Chris. Well, thank you. I'm glad you were here. I appreciate you. You have yourself a good night there, right? We're going to be getting out here ourselves in a few minutes. Look at a couple more of these things. I'm going to jump off. And as always, it's good to share our evenings with you guys. You guys are the best. I can't say that enough. A lot of support from you guys, whether it's verbal, monetary, that too. Just the support in here it's just awesome on this channel. And a great bunch of people. I couldn't ask for better people. And it's almost like we just come together in this giant room, like I said, and we just get down to this table. Hey, what about this? And just have conversations over and over again about stuff we've either seen during the week, maybe something we've seen in a video that was done, whatever it may be. It's just interesting. And I just say it all the time, is that I think, we're all on a learning curve. You guys are suggesting, hey, did you ever hear about that? Nope. But I'll look into it. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting, that we can have this time to spend with each other, because it's like you said, sometimes you just need something to, keep your sanity and just kind of chill out for a while and just relax, have a little bite to eat, and just kick it on the couch or on a recliner or something like that, and just look these things over yourselves. It's just awesome to have you guys around. You also agree that Arts and Crafts. You said, I love that about this channel too, Chris. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys give yourself a pat on the back. It's not about me. It's about you guys. Because like I said it a million times. It's like, without you guys, there'd be no channel. Clearly, there wouldn't be. I made a channel. I make content. But without you guys watching, it's crap, right? So it's awesome that you guys are here. And like I said, if you can, just share these videos on your social sites. Because like I said, if we're not being shared here on YouTube, we have to figure another way to share it. You know what I mean? Even if you think, well, I don't know if people are going to just laugh at them, when I put on, I don't care if it's a Twitter account, wherever it is. There may be some people may go, wow, that's pretty interesting. I've never seen that before. And you've got somebody by basically the ears or the eyes, and they want to check it out. Now, it's up to them whether they think it's crap or they think it's great. And that's what it's all about. It's just to be like basically an eye-opener and just something that people typically do not think of. And they just, I never stopped to think about that. I had a friend of mine tell me I never stopped to think about that. And I said, nobody even thinks about what's going on Mars, and there's rovers and landers and all this other stuff. And they go, some of them are like, big deal. Well, it is a big deal, because when you stop and think about what they're basically not showing us, to me, that's a huge deal. Not sure what this thing is, but look at this thing. Pieces sticking up in the air. Not sure what to make of that thing. But yeah, everybody's saying their goodbyes. So yeah, I'm going to do the same. And like I said, great hangout as usual. You guys are awesome. And, much love to every one of you guys. So just keep doing your thing and investigating these yourself. Whoops. And that's what it comes down to, guys. It's all about just researching it yourself. Get that back down. And there you go. End of another great hangout as always. Anyway, guys, you guys rock and roll. Everybody, have a great night, a great weekend. I got to work tomorrow, unfortunately, but that's okay. Get out of there around noonish. Have a good afternoon, and then, kick it on a Sunday. Relax, maybe watch a game or two. And that's what it's all about. And enjoy a little bit of life as well. Get away from some of all the hustle and bustle and the working and all that other good stuff. So everybody enjoy your evening, your morning, whatever it may be. Have yourself a good weekend, like I said.